All right, y'all, we live.
Nick be on that Pookie Loke. Hey, yo, so let's go ahead and get into it. We apologize to everybody out there for the technical difficulties. Thank you for still coming back and rocking with us. We're going to go ahead and get into the show tonight. So, Mark, what you got from the streets, man? Give me some stuff from the streets, bro.
Man, I'm gonna say like this. Our topic is alpha. So let me talk about this boy Sterling Brown real quick that plays for the Houston Rockets. He's an alpha personality, but alpha and toxic don't mix. He got his ass beat at a strip club by getting on the wrong team bus. Yeah, I mean, he wasn't on with his partners, but then he talking shit to the people on the bus. And you know what I'm saying? They don't know who he is, so they just whooped his ass, took a champagne bottle and beat him, you know what I mean, half to death or whatever. I'm like, he deserved every bit of that ass whooping. That's all I'm gonna say. Alpha and toxic do not mix well. That's all I'm gonna say about that.
Damn, that's a fact. Stacks, what's going on to the world, man? What's the world looking like?
We got to talk about this motherfucker right here. His name is fucking Tony Collins. So they're in the Zoom call with Dr. Rosario, and this dude refuses to call her doctor, even after she said, "I want to be addressed as doctor." And the reason why, and how this relates, you got some white men out there are just, I've seen white men like this guy before, just entitled. You're just going to go against the grain anyway. It's a long time to become her. How many years? Like 12, 10 years before you become a doctor? That's a long time.
Yeah.
That's why with me, everybody that get that title, I call them that. So to me, it was a mix of racism mixed with what do you call it, toxic masculinity, because he was literally refusing, and she was simply asking him, "Please address me as my title." Good thing is the motherfucker got fired. If you were about, I like that we in the you about to lose your job, Aaron. This motherfucker lost his job. That's all I got for you.
Thank you. Always can depend on Stacks. Merv, man, what the ratchetness looking out like there, man?
Man, look here, man.
Oh, shit,
by the way, I'm drinking the Snoop Dogg gin tonight. Indigo. Snoop Dogg gin. Strawberry flavored gin.
Okay.
Snoop Dogg.
That's a $6 bottle right there.
That's a step up.
Yeah, $6. Yeah.
Just got lettuce.
Hey,
yeah.
So we talking about alpha tonight. So we're trying to do the intro, the icebreaker with some alpha shit. So, ladies talking about they want a man that's comfortable with their sexuality, that don't mind doing some women shit and being alpha at the same time. But Tyrese is getting dragged on the fucking internet right now because he went live. First this week, he talked about he vowed to get his ex-wife back. And then, that was on Monday. Then on Friday, he is shaving his girl pussy on the social media.
Wow.
He got the legs, you see right there? He got the legs open. Then this motherfucker head pulled this goddamn listen, if you're a female and your nigga pulls a razor like this, and you open like you at the OBGYN, that's gonna make you feel good. That's gonna make you feel like you got a king. That's gonna make you feel like you need to marry this nigga. You gonna let a nigga have a razor next to your pussy? But they dragging him. I don't know. We talking about alpha. I don't know. You consider this alpha shit, or is this something that you don't mind your nigga taking the alpha away so he could do some shit like shave your pussy? Why don't you just go get your pussy waxed? But
you can't use a filter word for that. Or?
What you talking about? Vagina?
Yeah. Punana or something?
Panani?
Yeah.
Never mind. I forgot what I was dealing with. My bad. Continue.
Oh, okay. Yeah. And now you see he focused right now. He focused. So, hey, is this the kind of nigga y'all want, ladies? Is this not alpha enough for y'all?
I'm focused, man. Tell Sot to holler at me, man.
All right, what you got, Sean?
So, man, I got to kind of dive into this one, man. Van Jones, be careful, man.
Whoa.
Van Jones and allegedly Van Jones and Kim Kardashian is together now. I want to say back together because I'm sure they were dating at some point. This didn't just popped up. This is probably why Ye was out there wilding out, because he probably knew Van Jones was politicking with Kim on the side. If y'all remember, Kim was out there politicking with the president, trying to give people some pardons last year. So you know who's a political giant out there, and that's Van Jones. Van Jones, we thought you was a good guy. I'm worried about you now. Hopefully you can recover, homie, before you even start. I got a part 2, Merv, and I think you appreciate this. Y'all remember this lady?
Yeah.
Russell Wilson got drafted. Hey, she got traded in. Hey, he traded her in. She got traded in for this. Hey, Russell saw this meme. He was like, "Yo, she gotta go." And I think look at that. Hey, y'all remember that movie with Will Smith? What's the name of that movie? It was The End of the World. What's the name of that movie, man? The End of the World movie.
Eli?
No. Will Smith.
I Am Legend.
I Am Legend. Remember how those things were looking on I Am Legend? Yo, when I saw this pic, I was like, yo, this is the anniversary when she was yelling like that, when she thought she had it. But guess what? He said, nah, come on, Sierra.
It's a good upgrade.
And look at him now. He look good now, man. Good job, Russell.
You
leveled up.
Chico the bars looking motherfucker, man. Salute to Russell Wilson, man. Salute motherfucker, man.
Y'all mean for Russ got the hair popping. Y'all
Russ
mean?
got the hair popping. He got that Mark hair going, man. First thing. Yo, so fellas, hey, tonight's topic. I know we talked about it for about a week now. Tonight's topic is going to be crazy. We already 23 comments in. We less than 5 minutes into the show. We had some technical difficulties, but shout out to Facebook, shout out to YouTube, shout out to all of our sponsors out there who's rocking with us, Blackjack TV, Channel 199, Zingo TV, and shout out to all of you out there listening. We have a good show lineup for tonight. We have some special guests. We got some men, we got some women that's going to pop on tonight and give their take on the overall topic. So let's go ahead and dive into it, fellas. So tonight's topic, I'm going to flip it back to Stacks. I want Stacks, and I want you, Merv, you and Stacks, my Georgetown brethren. I want you guys to give us your take. Before we bring the ladies on, I want to get your take on this topic for tonight. Talk to me, fellas.
Hey, I'm gonna go first because I ain't gonna touch too much on it because I'm gonna pass the baton. If y'all familiar with track and you got a 4x1 relay, you got your first leg, your second leg, your third leg, and you get the fourth leg. That's the nigga to bring it on home to get the fucking goal. So tonight, the fourth leg is this nigga Stacks. So what I'm gonna do is the alpha ladies. Do y'all want an alpha male? Do y'all really? Or do you prefer to lead? That's what we're gonna get into. That's what we're gonna get into tonight. But Stack, what you got to say on it?
Okay. They got a definition for the alpha male. Oddly enough, I found the fucking definition for the alpha female. I don't agree with that term, and I'm going to get killed for that for sure. But the alpha males are aggressive, competitive, and driven to achieve. They think big, aim high, and attack their goals with courage, confidence, and tenacity. Now, do not confuse being an alpha male with some of these women doing is saying with that toxic masculinity shit or whatever. I guess we're going to get into that shit too, but I don't know why there's an issue. Some people have issue with alpha males. They kind of put them into the realm of every alpha male ain't an asshole. Okay, so I'm going to go to this alpha female. So here's the real definition of alpha female based on latest research. Alpha female is a woman who has embraced her leadership ambitions. She is talented, highly motivated, and self-confident, has a confidence that is contagious, which leads others to respect her as equal, showcase leadership characteristics. Okay. Now, myself, when I was in the military, I was in a field of human resources, and I've worked for plenty of women. No issues. As a matter of fact, I got a funny story, Sean. When I was on recruiting, we got a new first sergeant for Mark and Merv. That's like a high.
Was it like middle management or above that?
Like a senior manager, Senior management.
So So I was in the recruit station right around the corner from the house, bro. And she walked in, and I don't know if she's viewing it. She's retired now, but when she walked in, she literally she had a little Nicki Minaj kind of thing going on. She kind of looked like Nicki, and she was built like Nicki. She walked in, and I didn't get up and no shit like that, Sean, because I was starstruck. Because she was a baddie. It's probably a little toxic masculinity, but that's okay. She was a baddie, but at the same time, she is one of the best leaders I've had, bar none, in 20 years in the Army. She defined all. She was the definition of all those things I just said, as far as an alpha woman. Now, with that being said, I think there's a lot of women out there that think they alpha, but they ain't. Same thing with dudes. But yeah, like Kyle saying, strong, black, educated women, they do deal with a lot, but at the same time, some of them feel as though they have something to prove. That's what I've learned in corporate America. Female managers tend to go a little bit harder than male managers. And I kind of see why that is, simply because you have some males out there, white and black, that has a little bit less respect for the female in charge versus a male in charge, if that makes sense.
Wow.
Hey, so Stacks, let me ask you this. And everybody's watching, everybody's about to come on. How would y'all be thinking about this? Can an alpha male and an alpha female have a successful relationship?
Coexist, meaning?
Ooh.
You mean like have a successful relationship?
That's tough.
Yeah.
That's tough. I think. Hold on, Murph. Can you reframe? Can you reframe that question, please?
What you mean?
No, I get the question.
No. I need to hear it one more. I need to hear it one more time. I need to hear it one more time.
All right, you
I
want
love
me to
the
say the exact
question.
words, or you need me you need me to use different words and shit?
Yes.
You-
Give me
All right, cool. The old question was, can an alpha male and an alpha female have a successful relationship?
I actually rephrased it because we had a lot of people commenting. I would say yes. I would say if they are mature enough and they are confident enough and competent enough in each other, they can only make it to a situation where it can be a great situation, because success drives success. Iron sharpens iron. I think that if you have an alpha female and an alpha male that knows their role and they play their role the best.
There you go.
True.
What you just said?
Yeah, I mean, you said it.
Hey,
You
Sean,
hit it in the head.
repeat the last.
They ain't gonna like that, Sean, but say that shit over.
If you know your role.
So, Sean, say that shit again.
If you know your role. If the alpha male.
Say it for the vine.
Say it for the chest. If you know your role.
Hey, put the chest in it.
If you know your role.
Relationship, if they know their role.
If they know their role.
All right, go ahead.
They about to ask you like a motherfucker, what is their role? Motherfucker Merv, what is your role? That could be asked.
Yeah.
That's
where
it gets
dicey.
And
the
reason
dicey.
Right. But the reason why I say that is because you should be equally yoked, right? Equally yoked means you should be equal. So if you're both alphas, you are still equally yoked, but you have to know your role. You have to be able to complement each other, because two alphas can complement each other. You guys play sports, and you know sometimes you may have an alpha dog on that team, and you may have 2 or 3 alpha dogs on that team. The only time it does not work if one alpha dog try to out alpha the other alpha dog, as opposed to being equal when it comes to that sports team. It's no different than being in a relationship. That relationship is like being a sports team. You may be 2 captains. You know what I mean? You may captain one side of the defense, you may captain the offense. You know what I mean? If you're captains of the offense and the defense, at the end of the day, you got to come in the middle to make that whole thing work. But if one person trying to dominate and try to be more alpha than their partner, that's when the problems come into play.
See? So, and I think that's what I talked about. You know, when I was giving my spill in the streets or whatever, you know, my first story. See, you know, if it's an alpha and they toxic, right? That's when all that communication shit break down. You know what I'm saying? You know, I'm gonna say for me personally, if I come across an alpha female, hey, I'm with it. But if she toxic, I'm looking away, you know what I mean? Like, man, how can I smash and then leave? I gotta go. I gotta get out
Wow.
of here. You know what I mean? I got to get out of here. You know what I'm saying? I can't deal with that.
Shit.
So Mark, you say you can deal with an alpha female, but you can't deal with a toxic alpha female.
No, and
So,
won't. And
Hey
won't.
Mark, do me a favor. Can you kind of tell me what is a toxic alpha female?
Man, I'm gonna say like this. I only can speak from my experiences, right? But it's just like, you know, they're driven, I'm driven, they handling their business. I'm with that part. Like, all right, cool. But then it's just like, you know, they try to nitpick, you know, question you on certain shit. I'm like, oh, okay, we got one of these. You know, I'm like, listen, I ain't with it. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just, you know, once all of that bullshit is happening, now you know what game we about to place we are. I'm gonna see. All I got to do is find out and see what I can get out of you, and then I'm out. You know what I'm saying? And I don't want no bread or nothing from you because I got my own bread. You know what I mean? So what's left? The yams. That's it. You know what I mean? For real, you know. And then I'm out. You know what I mean? I ain't dealing with no alpha toxic. I ain't even dealing with toxic, but
Well, I think that
even worse.
I think that alpha mixed with toxic equals narcissism, and
Yeah.
and you got narcissists, you got our narcissists. A lot of people tend to only bring that narcissist shit up when we talking about men, but you got your narcissist females out there. They're definitely out there.
Yeah,
And
they want to question the shit that, you know what I mean, it might be shit that, you know, you're proud of how you came up or how you are or whatever. You know what I'm saying? You feel good about yourself or whatever. And they try to nitpick like, why does that make you happy? Or why is this? Whoa, I gotta go.
is that spirit fingers? What the fuck is going on?
It's a get your attention, motherfucker fingers. That's what it is. Get your
All right,
motherfucking
go ahead,
attention.
Murph.
That's the kind of fingers it is. You see that? You see how you said you started looking and you asked what the fuck that was?
No, I was.
Motherfucker.
I thought you was a male cheerleader out this bitch.
Yeah.
Ain't nothing wrong with that. Ain't nothing wrong with that. That's your journey. I mean,
Hey, for real, live your truth.
Hey, let me show you a trick. 5 can turn into 1. Damn, see that shit? Magic, voila. Hey, so let me ask y'all this. I know, Mark, you said you could deal with alpha female, but not toxic alpha female.
No.
Sean said alpha male and alpha female can have a successful relationship if they know their roles. But let me ask y'all this. Do y'all really see a true alpha female being willing to take a back seat when at appropriate times to make the relationship work? Do you see, hold
Good question.
Do you see a true alpha female knowing you don't fight every battle? Sometimes you got okay, we ain't gonna fight that battle right now for this relationship. I don't have to win every battle. You know what I'm saying? For the good relationship. Do y'all see a true alpha female being able to do that?
No, because I think it's a prove. I got to prove it thing. This is a prove it thing because I want to prove to you that I'm an alpha, so I'm going to push back on everything, regardless. And it could be a defeat situation, but I have to prove to you that I'm an alpha because I don't want you to get the best of the situation instead of conceding to the situation itself. And I think that goes for the males as well. We don't want to give in to the argument, right? Because if you feel like, yo, I might be in the wrong, but I might not be in the wrong. So I'm not going to concede to that, right? So again, that's where I think you butt heads because now no one can concede. And that can be a dangerous situation because that's when the toxic pieces come into it as well. You know, so I don't want to speak on behalf of the women because we got women in the backstage about to come on. And
well, I got a quick question. I'll say something. Then we're gonna bring motherfuckers on, right? So, you know what? No, I ain't gonna ask y'all a question. I'm just gonna tell my quick story.
Okay.
My statements. and y'all can relate, then say something. If not, bring the motherfuckers on. So
Why they gotta be motherfuckers though?
Oh,
what? A motherfucker is just like a noun. It's a person, place, or thing.
All right, Bernie Mac, late great, rest in peace.
You said you caught on to that shit, right? Bernie Mac taught your ass. Just like everybody else, motherfucker.
Continue. You digress. Continue.
All right, so check it,
that's
right?
that.
My example of an alpha male and alpha female. My parents, my mom and dad. My mom was alpha female. My dad was alpha male. My mom had her own business. My dad had his own business. Both of them was independent of one another. Neither one of them motherfuckers needed each other. Both of them had strong personalities. Both of them had strong opinions, and both of them was financial stable. And when I tell you, my fucking parents, they got officially divorced when I was 9 years old. And at 9, you know, you wanted to have both your parents together and shit like that. But as I grew older and really was able to look at that shit from a different perspective, from an older perspective, yo, them motherfuckers needed to be divorced. You hear me? Them motherfuckers just really could not get along. Like, neither one of them was backing down of changing their tradition or changing what they're used to accommodate the other one. So I've experienced an alpha male and alpha female being married, being in a relationship, and the shit wasn't successful. You know what I mean? He needed. I saw him. He had a girlfriend later that wasn't as alpha. She was more take the back road, kind of follow his lead. When my mom had a boyfriend later, her boyfriend was very mellow. You know what I'm saying? Very calm. And both of those, after they divorced, those two people that they ended up dealing with, that was more beta than alpha, they dealt with each other for a long time. And I've experienced dating alpha female, want to be alpha female, want to control everything. I'm not with that motherfucker anymore.
Yeah, gotta go.
Well, Merv, I can tell you that I'm happy to have met you after your parents' divorce, because I would have never spent the night at your house while they was married. Because I was afraid. I was definitely afraid of both of them separately. You know, when I came to your house, especially your mom's. Rest in peace, Miss Susan. But yeah, that's a case where two alphas meet, and it's just
Explosion.
Craziness, yo. Yeah.
Yep. So let's bring on some of the ladies, man. They were backstage for a while. I know they're getting antsy. I know they got some things to say. So I'm gonna bring on Light Bright first. Let's bring on Becca.
Whoa, Light
Hey,
Bright.
Becca.
That's what we doing.
She's the lightest motherfucker.
I mean, man, you couldn't just say Mrs. Green. You know,
Oh, my bad, Mrs. Green. You know what I'm saying?
That is family. That is family.
Nah, we acknowledging that shit.
He called me Light Bright. Hey y'all.
What's up, Cuzzo?
Hey.
Say the word. I'll go get the strap.
First of
hold
all.
up. So we just bring her on by her damn self. We ain't bring nobody else on.
See, you being toxic now.
I gotta know.
That's that alpha coming out. Hold your mule, Merv. That's the alpha coming out. You see how that works against the plan? Because I was talking.
Hey, Becky, you almost say a motherfucker too.
I'm so sick of all of y'all. Anyway, so I'm so sick of y'all. So I was actually, although I was in the background ready, like, you know how when you play double dutch and you ready to jump in, I was in the background ready.
We don't know. I hope none of us know.
I have this unpopular opinion. So there's a lot of things that I actually did agree with y'all about in regards to two alphas being together. Can be a lot if the two alphas at some point don't become a beta. They have to switch, and at some point she's the alpha, then he's the alpha. It has to switch, because if it doesn't, it's not going to work. However, I think sometimes we think of alpha as being negative, because we usually think of alpha male as having toxic masculinity, and it doesn't always have to be that way. Being able to lead isn't always a bad thing, but if you lead it like Hitler, then it's a bad thing. So you have to know when. You have to know when to say when. Know when to hold them, know when to fold them. That was my father's favorite line. Because you do have to, in a relationship, have a balance. However, the alpha female, like Cal said, does take the bad rap, especially if she's black, because we're so conditioned to look like we want to be above the men that even if we lead and we lead properly, it's never perceived that way. It's always looked at, we're trying to make the man look bad. We're trying to limit him. We're trying to lessen his authority, lessen his meaning. And it's not always like that. Sometimes the lifestyle that you're in at the moment created a overt independence in you that doesn't always work when you're dealing with other people. I know for me, I was a single mom, so I did everything. I had to be the alpha in my life and my daughter's life. So when my husband came along, being an alpha didn't work because my husband is an alpha. So at some times I got to be a beta just to, preserve the relationship.
to balance it out, right?
You got to balance it out.
Absolutely. Hold up. So let me bring on another lady because we don't want Becca to be crowded. Becca, you did a phenomenal job, Becca. You did great. All right.
Thank you for your approval, sir. Appreciate it.
It wasn't flawless. It wasn't flawless, but it was great. All right.
Excellent job, cousin. Excellent job.
Oh, shut the hell up.
Thank you, Merv. Good grief.
Everybody knows it's your motherfucking cousin, yo. Every time she make a fucking statement, good job, cousin.
Hey, Merv, pull up. We both alphas, nigga. Pull up. Hey, we both alphas. Pull up. Fuck what you talking. Fuck what you talking. Pull up. Pull up, nigga.
This is alpha toxic right
Pull up, Merv. Pull up. Yeah, I'm aggressive. I'm real aggressive right now.
Yo,
is y'all done or is y'all finished?
We family.
Hello, everybody. Good evening. Good night. Good night.
What up?
Yo, Nick smoking on Pookie Loke tonight.
Okay, so I don't even know what Pookie Loke is. What is it?
Sound like Reggie, so disregard.
Yeah, like that sounds like some bullshit I don't want in my life. But I too agreed with a lot of what y'all was saying. And Merv, you didn't talk enough, honey. To me, alpha means a leader. So two alphas can be together because nobody is good at everything. So whereas my thing might be cars, my man's thing might be the kitchen, cooking, so like if I'm trying to cook a meal and he's like, yo, don't use this, then I have to submit to what he's saying because he know better than me. If we're driving and I'm like, yo, I think that's, something's wrong with the fuel line, and he keep going, he has to, what I'm saying? Vice versa. He has to submit. So part of being a leader is knowing your strengths and your weaknesses. Being a leader is not always, pounding your fist and all this shit. It's also there's leadership in submission as well. So
absolutely.
Hey, Nick, you forgot to say, in order to be a good leader, you also have to be a good follower. Just to pick.
Nigga, I said submissive.
Damn right, Nick. Choose violence. Choose violence.
Right?
You support violence.
You're gonna have
choose violence.
You're gonna have some females that hear that word submissive and automatically just turn the fuck off and close their ear up.
True.
Because submissive is considered negative. So that's why
that is awesome for them. But I am not talking to a woman like that. I'm talking to a bitch like me who does not let simple words like that take, hold that kind of power over them.
I like that.
Nick come out blazing.
Yeah, that works.
Nick come out blazing. So hey, I got another round to shoot at y'all, and she was in the back waiting. So this is another round coming at y'all. Pew pew pew. So y'all ready? Kai Boogie.
Oh, Kai.
Hey y'all.
K Boogie.
Hello.
Damn it.
Is that a strawberry wall?
No, it's red.
Oh.
But I agree with that. And I agree with Nick. I feel like two alphas can have a successful relationship. I feel like in order for them to do that, like Sean said, you do have to know your role. Because if I am inexperienced in the field and my significant other is, or another alpha is, I'm going to allow them to lead because I don't know what I'm doing or I don't have enough knowledge in this particular aspect. So I'm going to allow them to go ahead and lead. I also believe that it requires mutual respect, compromise, as well as communication. Also, it has to do with what the person is looking to get out of the relationship. If you want to be in this relationship, you want it to work, then you're going to do what it takes for it to work. And that doesn't mean you always have to win. Winning is not the answer. Having a successful relationship is the answer. So it depends on what you are.
Yeah, that's it.
If you're wanting this to work, you're going to do what you can to add to make it work. That's it.
Indeed.
And Kai, to your point, I think I totally agree because when you get two alphas together, there can't be like standings like it's a sport. It can't be who got the most wins and losses, you know.
Yeah.
Because I consider my wife an alpha. There are some things that she does very well that I let her do, and there's some things that I do.
Damn, that you let your wife do?
No,
Now
you taking my shit out of context, my nigga. That's what you're doing. If it's some shit that I know she's the subject matter expert on, I'm gonna go ahead and defer to her on that. Is that a better word for you, motherfucker? I'm gonna defer. And in the same token, she's going to defer to me, her man, on the King of the Castle type shit. You feel me?
Did Mark fall?
Hey Sean. About 7 minutes and 25 seconds ago, that nigga almost fell, but he caught himself.
But yeah, I think it's all about deferring, man. I mean, you gotta, like I say, you gotta compliment each other. You gotta know your strengths. You gotta know their strengths, and you gotta let your partner do their thing, and they gotta let you do their thing. That's the only. It's doable, but more often than not, you got those two alphas, Merv, like your parents, that'll collide, and they're like, I'm gonna win this. Fuck what you heard, and the thing is, when you got two alphas where none of them are going to admit that they're wrong, that's a recipe for disaster right here. And the thing is, as adults, you have to admit when you are wrong. Like Becca said, you got to know when to hold them, know when to fold them. I fold all the time, you know, when I need to. You know what I'm saying? And vice versa.
True.
I agree. I learned this really good quote. Every battle is not worth the fight. So you just gotta know,
Kai, say that again.
Every battle is not worth the fight. It's not.
One more time.
No,
Lord.
none.
The good thing about my ears and my hands, I can remember. So Kai just said, every battle is not worth the fight.
Yeah, if you love a person, you're gonna be willing to. Like you have to, like in a relationship, you have to morph and adapt, especially if it's healthy for you.
I like that.
All right, so I'm going to add to this, right? I'm going to add the same topic. Alpha female, alpha male. So remember the original question was, can alpha male, alpha female be successful in a relationship? Can an alpha female that makes significant more amount of money than her man, can that be a successful relationship?
Now we get somewhere.
Yes, it can.
I think so. Yes. Like
okay,
you don't get with a person just because.
Okay, hold on. Let me change this because that's easy. Can it? Yes. It's a fucking possibility. So let me change this. Let me get y'all's opinion. Let me add up. I'm asking two easy questions. So percentage-wise, let's go to fucking percentage. What percentage do you feel or have seen that an alpha female that makes a significant amount more money than her man, that relationship be successful, percentage-wise?
Shoot, low percentage.
Well,
That percentage is low.
it's
As
hard
far
to
as what
answer
I've
that
seen,
question
it's
because
low.
we haven't seen every relationship, and some of us may not have
It's
seen
opinion.
alpha
It's opinionated.
women. Some of us may not have seen alpha women in that particular situation. I say the answer is still yes, because just like I mentioned before, that alpha woman, even being the main breadwinner, still will be able to switch and be a beta if necessary. That goes back to knowing your role. Even though she may bring in more money, that man still does bring in more money. He still does play a part. The issue with that most people do in relationships is they try to one up their partner. They try to make everything so even. And if you know a relationship even a little bit, you know it's never going to be even like that all the time. You may give 80 one time, she may be giving 20. Something may be going on where you just not feeling it right, and you give the 20 and she jump in and give the 80. It's going to always be that way. It's never going to be where you tally up, okay, I paid 5 bills this month, so next month you got to pay 5 bills too. If you're doing that in your relationship, you'll be single forever. It's not going to work that way.
Hey,
So yes,
That's
it can work if that alpha female is the one bringing in the more money, but it goes back to what we've been saying since the podcast started. You have to know your role, and you still can't, you have to be able to lead where even the people in your household don't mind following you because you don't lead with an iron fist.
Shoot, she toxic. She ain't never gonna know that role.
Right.
Well, see,
Plain
then
and
you
simple,
gotta.
you know what I'm saying? She gonna be talking shit to the boy all the time. You broke ass nigga, like, yo, trust me. I done seen that shit play out. You know what I mean? Came at the boy. You know what I mean? Came at the boy. Like that's that shit for the birds, yo.
Hey, so all right. Floor is yours, Stacks.
It to me it can work, but it depends on how that woman that's the money maker. It depends on her values and how she was raised.
There you go.
That plays a big factor in it, because you got women out there that got the bag, but some of them are blessed. I'm not going to say blessed because that's going to show them being biased. Some of them are blessed. Some of them have those traditional values where the man automatically is leading regardless of what his pockets is looking like. So it can work. The guy has to recognize. The guy has to swallow, because you got a lot of guys out there. They can swallow their pride and be with a woman that's making more money with them. You got some guys out there that they ain't got no problem.
They can't
being carried by a woman. But it all of that shit has to be established at the forefront. Like, a guy got to be okay with that shit at the forefront, and he has to realize, he has to really look at how that woman was raised and what her values is.
I agree.
Cool.
If you're
So
a toxic,
I got somebody else. I got another guy waiting back real quick. Let me bring him on real quick, Murph, if you don't mind.
Yeah, bring him on.
You got to do something else besides them spirit fingers, bro. Because that's just killing me. I don't know what's going on.
Tyson, what's up?
I'm gonna continue with both everyone has been saying. Really, I think it all comes down to really is communication. Like, is like basically to have like that mutual communication, like real rap. Like, in terms of like playing a part at a certain time. Because like, look, we all don't know everything. Like, just like women don't know everything or what have you. Like, you got to play your part at certain times. I think that's what it is. At certain times, if you don't know everything, like, look, here you go, handle it. And then, like I said, if a situation like maybe y'all both can learn like a situation together, that'll help too. What have you? Like, in terms of like getting to like a mutual situation, because you're gonna be alpha in certain ways, like in certain situations. It's gonna have to be. It's gonna be one time she's gonna take the lead. One time I'm gonna have to take the lead.
That's right.
Leave that up right there. Leave that up right there. Do not move that comment.
A lot of men are not okay making less than money. You gotta be comfortable in your own skin with that.
No, I would say that's more true.
Hey, you know what?
I would say that's more true.
That is more true. That is true.
Mm-hmm.
Can I say something?
Real quick.
I'm gonna go right after you, Murph.
Hey, you know what? Yo, I feel like I'm in a motherfucking interview and everybody's saying the motherfucking right answer to get this motherfucking job. Come on, y'all. Yo, you know why a lot of men are not okay making less money than their woman? Because most women, and I won't even say this, when we talk, black women, most of the time when they make more money than their man, they don't allow their man to lead the fucking household. They don't allow their man to be the alpha. And when that man that they're making more money than has a fucking opinion, a lot of times that shit go in one ear and out the other. And sometimes in front of him, and but most time behind his back, she's talking shit about him. Like, how this nigga gonna tell me what to do when I pay all the goddamn bills, or I pay the goddamn mortgage, or this nigga can only afford to pay the goddamn electricity.
Yo, Merv has had the worst relationships.
Merv is triggered.
I'm gonna tell you though.
Merv is triggered.
More degrees than that man. They're looking down at that man, and they're expecting that man, yo, you follow my fucking lead. And that man's going out the weekend with his niggas, or he want to buy something. Yo, that female is chastising the fuck out of him, but she's making them more money, and she's a fucking breadwinner.
Damn.
That shit happens.
They got something to say. They got something to say.
That shit really happens.
It's not the fact that men have. It's not a pride factor. It's a shame factor, because a fucking woman will shame the fuck out you if you making less money than them and you're less established than them. Matter of fact, yo, if you're in your 30s and you don't have your own fucking place, and you meet a female and you tell them, yeah, I have a roommate, and they got their own place, oh, they're not fucking talking to you. Like, the fuck you doing in your 30s? You got a fucking roommate, and they got their own house. They're already judging. So that's why. No, you know what?
But you know what though?
What kind of woman are you?
Hold up.
Real quick.
But you know what though?
Let Mark talk. Let Mark talk.
I can tell you the reverse of this shit. You know what I mean? Because I seen that shit too. Where, you know what I mean, a woman, she doing good in her job, she on her career, doing whatever she doing, right? And then the boy she with is like mad all day long. He just mad and shit. Like, why you gotta go to that after work shit? Fuck that after work shit. You know what I mean? Why you gotta do this and do that? Like, he mad because his situation fucked up. You know what I'm saying? Yep. So he take it out on her. You know what I'm saying? Just because she's successful in what she doing. You know what I'm saying? So I've seen it, you know what I mean, in reverse, where the boy, he like a lame ass motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, dude, if she is good at her career, get you a career, get you some business and handle your business. Don't take it out on her because she's doing good. You know what I'm saying? And she with your bum ass. You know what I mean? She trying to help you out. You know, get the fuck out of here with this.
Cornball niggas out. There's some cornball
niggas out there. There's some weak ass niggas out there.
Real quick. Hey, let's keep some order. Go ahead, Mark.
Mark, the question.
Go ahead.
Hey, Mark, what female comments you saw the face that you trying to get pussy from?
What you said again?
Wow.
Wait.
Hey, yo, real quick, Nick, go.
Thank you, Stat.
I ain't even catch that shit. I know a weak ass boy when I see one. You know what I mean? For real. I'm not going to support that shit. That's lame ass shit, boy. No. I don't support lame motherfuckers. I don't give a fuck if it's a nigga or a bitch. I'm not supporting no lame ass motherfucker. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, yo, Mark mad as fuck, yo.
Nah.
Hey, yo, Nick.
Is triggered.
Hey, Nick.
I don't like lame motherfuckers, man. I can't fuck with them.
Mark my man, Joe. Mark my man. Hey, yo, Nick. Talk on it.
I was just wanted to to spread some love and light to Merv. You know, I got I don't have my sage on me right now. I got some sage incense right here. You know, some non-champa that I can burn. You know, honey, you're so hurt. Hugs to you, my brother. Hugs.
Can I just say one thing? Mark and Merv, a lot of y'all comments have to do with the individual as within themselves. If it's a woman out here kicking her man back in behind his back, there's something wrong with her at the end of the day. And I think that a lot of y'all comments, specifically you, Mark and Merv, a lot of y'all comments, those types of things happen when you don't take the time to get to know the person that you're with. True. If you take time to get to know the person that you're dealing with, you'll know whether or not this is a situation that's going to be conducive to your development. And if it's not, The quickest way to make yourself comfortable in an uncomfortable situation is to remove yourself.
Indeed.
Hey,
Indeed.
so
People don't do that enough.
can I respond to Kai? Can I respond to? Go ahead, Nick. Go ahead, Nick. Now I'm respond to Kai.
What, baby? How you pronounce your name? Rika? Is that how you say her
Rika.
name?
Rika,
What she said, ambition. That's really what it is. Like if you are not really about nothing, if you're not trying to constantly level up, don't nobody want somebody that just is not ambitious, that is just okay here. You know what I'm saying?
Stuff. Yeah.
All right. So let me. I'm gonna respond to Kai, and then I'll respond to somebody talking about Mervis Hurts. Listen, when I'm speaking, I'm not speaking from. That's
Rika.
But listen, I'm not speaking from. I think people. I'm involved in a lot of different Facebook groups, a lot of different social media groups.
Mhm.
All right, social groups. Okay, and I read a lot of stuff on Facebook, on Instagram. So there was a whole. When I speak, what the
These
fuck?
are the sources.
Hey, when I speak,
Like,
everybody
on
assumes I'm
TT,
speaking from personal
chooses
experience.
violence.
But there was
Dang.
a
Well,
chat.
TT, you got to leave like right after that. You know what I mean? You got to leave after that. You know
Oh
what
my
I'm saying?
God.
So
2 o'clock a.m.
there was this chat one time, and the topic of the chat was, are you willing to split the bills with your man? I didn't make any comment on that chat. When I tell you, 65% of the females was like, nah, the guy got to pay for everything,
Wow.
or
Which is
he
crazy.
ain't that nigga. You know what I'm saying?
Yo, that's
yo, she is wild.
Merv.
Yo, she
Hey.
is wild.
Hey,
Rika Wild.
Because listen, I don't mind saying the unpopular opinion or saying what people don't want to say. Y'all saying a lot of cute shit that sounds right. That sounds good.
Merv, and I'm gonna piggyback off you. Unpopular opinion. Unpopular opinion. Kevin Samuels. I know a lot of women hate this motherfucker. His delivery is fucked up, but he makes some very valid points
He
in
actually
his fucking
does.
video.
No,
He makes some
no,
very.
I'm not
He
respecting
makes some.
He
No.
actually does.
Hey, I don't give a fuck who this. I don't give a fuck who disagree or agree, but I'm just telling you that his delivery is all kinds of fucked up. I'm gonna give him that. But what people are doing, like this guy will talk to a woman. I don't like the way he interrupts and he cuts him off and shit like that, but he'll make some valid points. And people fail to realize that he has dogged out some dudes as well that came on the show. So it's not just dudes, but I think people need to really need to listen, even if it's some shit they don't want to hear. Just see what you can get from it. Take out all the bullshit and just see what you can get. I'm not caping for this dude or whatever, but I think you got women out there that's calling him. They go to the gay card. Oh, he's a gay dude, like because he's not saying shit that you agree with. Is that's why now you're questioning his sexuality? That's whack.
So, hey, Becca, you gonna say something? I'm gonna add this. I'm gonna add this question. I want you to say what you say and answer this question. So, is it okay for the female to pay the mortgage? Does that make the dude less of an alpha? Becca, say what you about to say, and then dive into that.
No, that doesn't make him less than an alpha. Let me just explain. First of all, thank y'all to everybody in the comments. Y'all wow. These comments is blowing.
Real wild. Right?
There's a whole nother podcast in the comments. Like it's crazy.
It truly is.
But yes, paying a lot of women, and I see this a lot, and I understand why, but it boggles my mind in 2021. This is what I said earlier about tallying up. When you sit there and you tally, okay, you pay the mortgage, I pay the light bill. Okay, the light bill and the mortgage is about $200 a piece. So let me find some other bills for you to pay to equal what I'm paying. That is going to ruin the relationship. Who has time for that shit? It's ridiculous. Yes, if the agreement is that he pays the big bills, you pay the little bills, then fine. But the respect still has to be there regardless. Say what y'all want to say, women, about the man got to be having all this money, fine. Outside of what we're talking about tonight, a man with all that money does have a lot of requirements. A lot of women in these streets do not meet those requirements. So shut the fuck up on it.
Talk to him. Hey, talk
to him.
That's it. A lot of the times, the women that want these kind of men will never be in the space of these men because they're not on Facebook looking at your dumb ass leave these stupid comments.
He's busy making more money.
The man that you want to pay all your bills is not on Facebook looking and scrolling to find your dumb ass comment. So stop. You'll be single forever looking that way. That's it. That's it.
Goodness.
And I need my girl Tina B. She over there looking on fine with the red lip eating her food.
Team B. I see you, Team B.
In the store right now.
I have taken my time to give my time to Tina B. Tina B. Boo, with your red lip looking all fine over there in the corner.
Yes, girl.
You got the floor because I was waiting for you to come on, Boo.
Team B, give it to us. Give it to us.
Let me put down my motherfucking ice cream.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I fucking love it.
I had to lick and suck on something sweet.
Okay.
The guys getting in their business.
Hey, Tina B. Hey, Tina B. Hey, that's how you get your nigga let you be an alpha right there.
That part.
Feel like that?
You know.
You can be an alpha. Hell yeah, me.
Yo. This was wild.
So, let me play my role and stay in my lane and let these shoot. Vent. Let me be quiet so y'all can vent. Right? So I have to play my role. Let y'all get it in because y'all seem real emotional about the topic. So
y'all, I thought it was the Merv.
Oh,
especially Merv.
No, listen, because hey, whatever I see him like, I'm okay with that. But it was just a lot of fucking interview answers, political answers, and y'all know the fuck I'm saying. Y'all done been around females. Men and women on that's up here right now done been around females to be like, yo, nah, if a nigga in this, like, and females, if a nigga got the status and got the finances, a lot of females will put up with more shit with that nigga. But if she's making more money, if it roles are reverse, and the nigga is making less money, does the same shit that the nigga.
Yo, this is like a long sentence. What is going on?
Does, they can do the same shit, and she was like, "I don't know why I can't leave him. I just love him. You know what I'm saying?"
Nick, you gotta let Murph
that she makes more money. Do that same shit. You know what she's like? Yo, you think I'll be around and deal with this broke ass nigga doing this dumb shit? That's how the fuck it goes.
You ready for me now, Murph?
We ready.
Please let somebody else talk. Shit.
Come on.
I never labeled myself an alpha female. I was labeled one by men.
I can see that.
I can definitely see that too.
So
in a good way.
I actually don't like it. Because it makes me feel like I'm a problem. I can't help it if I'm headstrong. I'm my father's daughter. Okay, I am the son.
Factory.
Okay, so it's come outside and learn how to change oil. Come outside and learn how to change tires. No, I'm not buying nothing. You got to buy your own stuff because you're not gonna appreciate it until you spend your own money. So my dad, he's so hard on me. As a child, he was hard on me. We're not affectionate. So it's instilled with me. It's like, let's get money, get money, get money. I'm not affectionate. So that's a huge issue. But I don't downplay no dude I'm with, this and the third. There are females that do or whatever. But I'm so headstrong, I'll talk to you like we playing football and I'm your coach.
Mm-hmm.
So it may seem aggressive or dominant, but it's coming from a loving place because I want us to win. The whole alpha dating the alpha, I would love that. That's power moves, okay? So Sean was definitely right when he said everybody just needs to know their lane. Two alphas could definitely date. just know your lane. You know what I'm saying? And that communication plays a big part in that, a huge part. Because if y'all two alphas, then y'all need to sit down and communicate on
That's
what
right.
lanes y'all about to take.
Facts.
What, Merv?
No, so I got a question. Does anybody on here, when you say what you just said, Tina, it made me think of something. Do anybody on here watch Love and Marriage Huntsville?
No.
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 Nope.
Nobody? All right.
No.
You do.
It's three black couples, and each couple are like totally different dynamics. Like one couple is, the guy is traditional as fuck. Like he pay all the bills, he pay everything. He don't want his wife to do shit. He don't want his wife to work. The first 5 years, he want his wife just to stay home with the kids. Then they got another black couple where both of them are alpha male, alpha female. Both of them got successful business. Both of them can be independent. Together, they're a power couple. And then there's another couple where they're engaged. But guess which couple is divorced?
The stay at home for 5 years with kids.
The two alphas.
The power couple.
The two
The power
alphas.
couple are separated right now.
Wait, didn't he cheat on her? I did read that in the blog somewhere. Didn't he cheat on her?
Who?
Yeah.
Here's my thing. Each one of us on here is representing somebody in the audience, is representing somebody, period, that's probably watching the show, right?
Yeah.
So everybody, for the most part, everybody gonna have agreements on something, and we're gonna have different views on something else or whatever. So what I'm basically saying, I really only speak for me, but I know that there's people out there like me. So you know how to wear it. I don't really want to do the 50-50 thing. I feel like if I make more than the man, of course, I take on the majority of the responsibility. That's how I feel. But I feel like he should pay the mortgage or the rent for those who don't live in the house, and I should pay utilities.
You know what? Thank you for being fucking real and giving a real goddamn answer. I appreciate that shit.
I mean, that's how I feel.
Can I say something? Because Merv is just wearing me out.
Real quick.
It's like somebody else, Merv, please let everybody talk, honey, and then you will hear some real answers. Okay, I just don't want to talk over other people, so that's why you haven't heard all of my experiences yet.
Talk now.
I'm about to, motherfucker. Shit.
Hold on.
And Nick, before y'all go, I got another round to shoot in the chamber. All right, I got one more chamber coming out. Let's go. I got another round for y'all.
Oh man, it's really 10 of us on here right now.
You know when I can finish my statement.
No, go ahead, Tina.
Finish, honey.
So that's how I was raised. I don't see nothing wrong with it. I feel like if that woman is only paying the utilities, she could definitely stack up some money for a rainy day in case something happens with that man in his situation. You feel what I'm saying? So that's how I look at things. I don't like the whole 50-50. Like what are we saving? Like, how I'm gonna have you if something happened to you, and how you gonna have me? I mean, it could happen. It's doable, but it's still better if the percentage is not 50-50. That's just how I feel when it comes to certain stuff like that. So I bet a lot of people that actually disagree with that. I don't see nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, I don't know anything about 50-50, man. You know what I'm saying? That's like, you know what I mean? If you hang out with a chick and then you're like, yo, we should split the bill. Like, what kind of bullshit is that? I mean, to me, like, I ain't splitting no bill. Like, you know what I'm saying? You out with me, I got that shit, the end.
And
you know what I'm saying?
Here's where I'm dominant at. If I tell my man I want to go out, guess who's paying? I am for everything. Because I wanted to go out. Let's do this. If I suggest, let's go to the movies, let's go out to dinner, I'm paying because I suggested it. There's nothing wrong with it. You one time you could do it, next time I could do it. I don't expect communication. It pay for me all the time. I'm also one of those females that if I go shopping, I'm bringing my man home something too. that's just me. He don't gotta ask for it. I'm just gonna bring it home too. Like I went shopping for myself, so I'm bring him something too, or ask him, "You want something?" I mean, that's just my way. Am I okay with being the chick that stay home and not work? As long as I have my own business and I could work from home, sure, I'll be that stay-at-home wife.
So with that being said, I'm gonna take the guys out real quick. I'm gonna let the guys go backstage and refresh, because I want you ladies to have girl talk. I want y'all to go in on Mark. I want y'all to go in on Merv.
Why somebody
I
not going on somebody? I mean,
don't know.
Wow.
It feels better. I think y'all should go in on Merv, Mark, and Stats,
Oh my
and even
goodness,
Tayson. I
man.
think y'all should go in on those guys. And,
Wow.
yo, go in on these guys, man. You know what I'm
Bye,
saying?
Nick.
So I'm gonna let y'all rock it.
Spear fingers.
Yeah.
Don't go in on me. Don't go in on me.
All right,
Just go in
ladies.
on Mark, Merv, and Stats.
All right,
We'll be
see y'all
backstage,
in a minute. Is it Mia or Maya?
It's Mia.
Mia. Okay. So have you heard all this debauchery that was going on? Have you heard it all?
Not. I've heard a lot, an earful, and I just basically think that it's to each his own. This alpha male and everything like that's been going on for so long, and it really depends on the person. Some men like an alpha female, some don't. Some women like an alpha male, some don't. So it's just like depends on the type of person. And sometimes, as I feel like, and I'm gonna say it, as Black women, we don't have a choice but to be the alpha female.
That's right.
We don't always want to be the alpha female, but we put in positions where we have to play that role. And we don't know how to backtrack. We need a man that wants to be dominant because we're so used to being always in the driver's seat. And I was in a relationship like that. And, you know, I was very unhappy, but the guy was really like really back, letting me take charge of everything. And I'm like, all right, well, when you going to step up? And it ended. So, you know, again, to me, it's just to each his own.
I think all of us.
I agree.
I think all of us have been in that situation where I think, just like you said, it feels like the Black woman's curse. Like we just kind of are always naturally the alpha, just because,
be strong.
Right? Just because of the way life is.
He kind of came at us. Remember?
Yeah.
He specifically said Black women.
Right, and that's why, and that's a very true statement. But I feel like it gets a bad rap. Like I think all of us. And correct me, ladies, if I'm wrong. I think all of us, when we think of that situation where we had to be the alpha woman, conditions caused that.
It wasn't by choice. We had to adapt to that.
It wasn't always by choice, because I know sometimes being the alpha woman could be exhausting. I know prior to my husband being, like I mentioned before, having to make every decision all the time could be mentally exhausting. And especially if you're dealing with finances, your finance has to be able to afford you and your children. Or I only have one child, but let's say somebody that has 2 or 3 children, she's an alpha woman. She has to make every financial decision. $1 spent the wrong way could be detrimental. She has to make all the emotional decisions. She has to make sure that she's sound, that her children are sound, because if she's not right, her kids are not right. She has to make every type of physical decision too, whether she will sleep or will not sleep with the man. She has to make sure that her children are safe, that she's safe. All of that stuff can be a lot. It can be draining. So sometimes being with an alpha male could be relaxing, like finally. But that alpha, that trait can come in where the control is an issue. Like, I would like a man to do it, but I want him to do it my way. So it's a real big struggle. So can any of you ladies, do you have an example when you was actually a baiter? When you was like, I didn't have to be alpha at all. My man did it all. Do you have that?
Go ahead, Nia.
No, I'm just saying I don't have any examples. I kind of always have to, like, you know, I've dated someone one time where I had a flat tire and he actually watched me put air in my tire. I said, oh, you know what I'm saying? Like, he really act like he didn't know what to do. And I'm just like, okay, well, how were you raised? So,
yeah,
I don't know.
I probably dated 2 people that can handle my personality. and my aggressiveness, because I'm not gonna soften up. So I need somebody that's tougher and stronger than me.
You've said that a
in my
few times too.
situation, in my situation,
I think that also can be a problem, though. I mean, sometimes we are too tough, and I've heard that about myself. Like, you're too tough for it. Like, you have a mentality like a guy. I'm like, well, what does that mean?
Yeah.
But, you know, I guess it's something that, you know, you're never too old to learn, that I need to learn to kind of like scale back a little bit, because I don't always want to be in the driver's seat. So
I feel like this: the right person is gonna make you submit. The right man gonna make you soften up and submit.
That's very true.
Because that's when you're gonna be like, "Oh, I'll do the laundry, babe."
No, I 100% agree. I 100% agree. I dated somebody.
Right. Go ahead, Nick.
I dated somebody. He was a beta, and so I became the alpha. And Stacks knows him, and well, he don't know him, but you know he knows of him. And man, I wore him out. You know, it was like, make my supper, bitch.
Ass tray, bitch.
But on the other side, you know, when I come in, like the man I'm dealing with now, you know, he's an alpha, you know, and I just be like, okay, boo, what you want? You know what I'm saying? You know, but like to get to that, you really have to be a certain kind of guy. I don't relinquish the crown easily.
What kind of guy is that, Nick?
Oh, like a super alpha.
My dad.
That's yeah. Like somebody like from like that old school kind of
And
that's your dad. That's your dad. Nah, man, this man different. I call my dad an Iron Man, yo. Like
your dad is supposed to be your you know what I'm saying? He's supposed to be that standard for, you know what I mean, for everybody else.
Now I don't want somebody exactly like him because he don't do dates and all that other stuff. I don't know how my mom lasted with that shit. Okay. Or whatever. But yeah, man, like especially when it comes to cars, I don't want you like, oh, I'm calling AAA. Nigga, I want you to come and get my shit. You know what I'm saying? Like I can call AAA. I just like somebody that just take charge, do shit without me asking you to do it. Just do.
So in my situation,
I'm sorry, Kai, you got dropped off a little bit, but I know you was in the middle of a thought.
Yes. I wasn't in a relationship for a very long time, and I had to be an alpha because I have a child. I have a daughter. So I had to be an alpha, a provider. I did everything. I made all of the decisions. I'm in a relationship, and the roles reverse. It's never just me, because I'm very aggressive, and with my mate, I say exactly what's on my mind, and 9 times out of 10, honestly, my delivery comes off crazy because it's not like my tone is meant for him. It's because it might be in my head, or I might have been thinking about it, because I live in my head a lot. Like I think a lot. So sometimes my delivery is messed up, but I'm in a position now where I know my role. So I constantly, the scales is always like this with us. It's always like this with us. I'm older than him too, so I know a little bit more. I have more experience than him. So a lot of times it's stuff that he is inexperienced. There's avenues that he doesn't have knowledge of that I do.
Yeah.
And he allows me to take the lead. It's times where
now, Kai, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead, baby. I'm sorry.
Oh. And then there's times where I allow him to take the lead as well, because I'm maturing. I'm gonna say I'm maturing because I usually don't like to admit when I'm wrong. But like I said, I'm in a situation now where I've been an alpha for a long time, and now y'all can't hear me?
I can hear you.
Oh, and now I'm a beta. I can be a beta rather.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I feel that. Too. Let me tell you what I'm not going to do respectfully. When me and a man go out, oh, he in charge. He in charge. See when that alpha come out, it's behind closed doors. I would never embarrass him in public.
Right.
You gonna be that man, and I'm gonna be a trophy on your arm, like I should be. That's how I feel.
What I was gonna say, Kai, is that like when you said that you feel like you talk aggressive, and before you said that, I was sitting here listening. Oh, she sounds so sweet. She sounds so ladylike.
Oh, girl,
I didn't hear none of that at all that she was referring to.
Yeah, that's Tina now.
I can't hear Kai at all.
Y'all can hear me?
Oh,
Yeah, I
for
can
real?
hear you.
I can't hear
don't know
Kai. I can hear
what's
you and Tina.
Oh no,
I
that's
can
not
hear.
good.
But from what? Yeah,
Yeah, I can hear Kai.
Kai been an alpha for a long time. So to see her soften up, it's like, ooh, she really love this boy right here. Well, this man right
Oh,
here. Like,
Yeah,
and
that's
like
my
you
baby.
said, it's an age difference, true.
that's
But what
nice.
she teach him, he love her. He learned it from her. And then he takes over. And she allows that. That shit is dope. I like
That's
Yeah.
beautiful. That's
That
beautiful.
is very beautiful.
it.
Because that's like what was mentioned before about the alpha female having to know when to be a beta, and like what you said, Nick, knowing who to be a beta with. Because not and this goes for alpha females and alpha males. Sometimes we don't even know when we have the lead what to do. We just want the control. So it doesn't always have to be, I want to do it because I know how to do it. I know how to do it right. I know how to do it efficiently. I just want to do it because I just want the control. All right, well, now you got the lead. What are we doing?
Let me put a spin on this. So there are women. Clearly, it's not us. There are women that sit there and say, the alpha women that say, oh, I don't want a man to do nothing for me because if he do something for me, he gonna hold it over my head. Now you got those that do that. It's a lot of those. I ain't even gonna.
They've had bad experiences.
Yep.
Yeah, they've had bad experiences. I always give somebody I date a new chance. I don't bring the old shit to the new shit. But it's like a lot of women are scorned by that, and they're scared to allow a man to be a man for them or do things for them because they think they're gonna hold it over their head.
And that's because it's true sometimes. A lot of the times it happens, which also it triggers and it makes so many other dominoes fall. Because he's not going to rule over me, then no man is going to be okay, because every man that they with is going to have to do what they want. So then they always end up meeting guys that they don't like, don't want, and then as a result they stay single because no guy is enough. No guy is perfect. No guy meets everything on their list. So it's like, as alpha women, do alpha women really want a man to step in? Can they be a beta, like what Merv said? Or do they just want the control so that they can talk down to that man and then go on the street and say, my man does whatever I want? Yeah, because you have that control. You want to rule over him. He's not doing what you want because he just wants to satisfy you, make you happy, and he loves you. You won't let him do shit. So, I mean, you have to control every single thing. It's a double-edged sword to me. I think being an alpha, male or female, is a double-edged sword. It can work, and it could work for you, and sometimes it could really work against you.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to add too, like, I also believe that a lot of women have fallen into the role of being an alpha because they didn't grow up in a household with a male. So if you grew up in a household that was just predominantly women and strong women holding it down, doing everything for the household, you have never been subjected to having to be in a situation where you're submissive to a male other than what you've learned by dating. That can also play an important role in your development with men.
Mm-hmm. Right. Mm-hmm. And a lot of our men are locked up or dead.
Well, I was raised by a father who was Muslim, and he was very strict. So he always taught me like that I had to be strong, and he taught me about self-love. He always told me I was beautiful, that he loved me every day. So there's a lot of things that as an adult, when I started dating, that I just would not accept. And when it was introduced to me, I could not accept it because my father taught me that I deserve better than that and that I am better than that. So that is lacking in a lot of households, but it does make a big difference when you do have that type of love coming from your father.
Mm-hmm. So we talk about the alpha personality in regards to relationships. How does that alpha personality work in regards to friendships and parenting?
What kind of friendship? Like your homie, your homegirl?
Like with female friends, can two female alphas be friends, or are they always in competition? Can an alpha woman be loving and kind to her children, or is she one of those mothers that yell at her kids all the time? Like that alpha personality, how does it show up in your other relationships outside of romantic?
Well, let me go first. You got Kai and you got Malullas. Mia is one of Malullas. They alphas. And Chauncey is an alpha. And Nene is an alpha. Oh my God. Nikki, like we are so headstrong. How did we survive, right, guys? Like over 20-something years of going on 30-something years of friendship. Okay. And our foundation is so grounded that no matter, even if we argue, we ain't going nowhere. We ain't going nowhere, and we knock heads hard body. But there's always like the mutual one. So me is most of the time the neutral one.
Always.
Yeah, always. And Nene, Kanika, she loved to just laugh. She liked to be happy, so she don't want to see nobody upset, and she don't like drama. So it's like, but we have survived, and can't nothing break that. We come too far for anybody to tear that apart. Kai, I got so much respect for this woman. I've done went through so much, and I would just listen to her talk because she knows how to. It's certain things that come out of my mouth the wrong way, and she know how to say it the right way. She just understands. She understands my tears, so it does work. I don't have any kids, but I work with kids, and my friends know that if they need me to speak to their kids, I actually am really good at it or whatever. But my friends are really good with their kids. They don't be like, sit your ass down. They don't do that shit. They don't. They are so. Well, we need to have a talk. They'll sit their kids down and they'll say, we need to have a talk. And what's going to get those? I mean, there it is. That shit real. That shit real. It can work. It can work.
I agree. I feel like. Oh,
So-
go ahead.
No, you go ahead. You go ahead.
Cool.
Can you hear me, Becca?
Yes, now I can.
Okay. I also feel like it's the love that you have for your friends. You know, like I'm not in competition with my girlfriends. I love my girlfriends because I've been friends with them for a number of years. They like my sisters. So I'm not gonna put myself in a position to compete with my friends. Like, I think it just depends on how you love them. If you don't really love a person and you're an alpha and you're around another alpha, then I can see it maybe not really working. But if you love your friends and you genuinely love them, then it can work.
I think that touching back what Becca said as far as being an alpha and being a parent goes, I don't think it really affects the relationship with your child. I think it affects the relationship with the other parent. That's where I think the conflict can come into play as far as who has more say or, you know, who's more dominant, and you just learning to compromise in that aspect. I don't know if anybody else is a parent here that has been through that, because I have.
I'm
What
not
you
a
think,
parent.
Nick?
I'm not a parent, Mia.
Well,
but
You had a lot of
wanna-
kids.
no, I
Well,
seen
to get back,
real quick, Nick. I seen that shit because my parents are like that. My parents are like that. Dad was like, "No, I'm not bringing her," and my mom was like, "Oh, word, you're not gonna bring her." And then this is when she ain't have her license. She went and got her damn license, bought her own damn car. So now she ain't have to ask my father for shit. I'll take my daughter when I can take my daughter. Now I don't gotta ask you. I saw that.
Oh
shit.
Lord.
Yeah.
No, get him out of here.
before he starts talking,
Get
I want to answer the question
Go ahead, Nick. Go
because,
ahead, Nick.
child, his mouth.
Let's get him out of here.
Go ahead, Nick.
But to get back to the question, like as I said when I first came on, to me, being an alpha means being a leader. So to me, two alphas can be friends. Me and my girl Nick, I'm 42. We've been friends since 1984.
You look good, Nick. Go ahead, girl.
Oh, well, thank you, girl. But you know, and I mean, she's like Stacks knows she's a big time alpha. You know, me and her, we bump heads, but you know, at some point, like, you know, we either respect each other's opinion, or if she know more about something than I do, or if I know something more about, you know, or our life experiences, you know, then we'll kind of like submit to each other's knowledge base. And so with parenting, I get on my kids' nerves because I try to be like real loving and hugging and whatnot. And and like same thing. Like I want to lead by example. So like I let my kids let me know if they have an issue or something with me. you know, in a nice, respectful way, because I'm their mother.
Yeah.
But, you know, like my daughter, she would write letters, you know, or, you know, they'll just come and like talk to me. And if I'm wrong, then I apologize. If I feel like I'm right, I'll listen to them. But then I'll say, well, listen, I feel like I'm right. You know what I mean? To me, an alpha is a leader. Whether you're a leader of a household, you know, whether you are the leader in your family, or whether you're a leader in like a certain expertise.
So then, Nick, if
Nick,
we can do that,
I used to do that too. I used to write letters to my mom when it was like serious.
My 10-year-old does that.
I was scared, so I had to write her a letter.
my 10-year-old has done that, and I always my first initial thought was, hey Merv, my first initial thought was, why did she say this to me versus writing it? But Nick, that brings up another thought for me. If we're able to do that with our children, being alpha women, and we're able to do that with our children, then why is it so perceived that we can't do that with our men?
Hey, I got a question.
I think the difference is because with our children, their development depends on us. You know what I'm saying? Their future depends on us.
Who's us?
The children, the women, the alphas.
Their development depends on the women.
If you're a mother,
who let Kyle in here?
Y'all,
you ain't a mama.
Talking crazy all day.
Wait, Kyle, we're gonna give you the
Who
floor.
was talking crazy? Because the guys was doing most of the damn talking.
Hold on.
It might be, Becca. It might be that there might be a lack of trust. I mean, yeah, some kind of like lack of trust. You know what I mean? That it will be received correctly, or received as you intend for it to come out.
So,
go ahead, Merv.
All right.
Hold on, before you start, let's introduce KB, Kyle.
Everybody know that nigga.
Kyle has joined us before. Welcome, Kyle.
What's going on?
Hi, KB.
Okay,
hey,
welcome,
KB.
Kyle. You done been with this motherfucker like 3 times. Everybody know you.
What's going on, folks? You know.
All right.
Go ahead.
So the parent role,
Right.
How many are parents right now? Mia, you got kids? Okay, all right. So this for the women. So do y'all have it where the father has the final say?
No,
What?
it's a compromise. Definitely.
Right.
In my house, yes.
Okay, so in your house, yes.
For me, it's a compromise.
All the women said no. Sound like all the women has said no.
Well, my daughter's father.
There's different situations. You got
my daughter's.
Some
Go
are
ahead, Tina.
married and some are co-parenting.
I'm a judge, the juror, and the executioner.
Well, in my situation, my daughter's father is not a part of my household, so his say doesn't what he wants doesn't go in my household. In his household, that's different. But where I am, it's my say.
Do you try to control this household? Like if your kid goes over there, will your kid say, "Well, mommy wouldn't want me to do that"?
Well, no, I have no say in his household. I have no control over his household, straight up. Like, as long as my daughter's not being harmed or she's not being mistreated, I'm good.
So you trust his judgment, is what she's saying. He's a good father. He does what he do.
Yeah, that's it. Like, I don't have any control over his household. Now, if something go left, now I did have a situation where something was going on, and I had to create a code word with my kid. And when she called me and said that code word, I would just go pick her up. No question asked. So,
Kyle, go ahead.
My question is, why? There was a question of why can't 2 alphas exist? I don't really understand. Now I say that 2 alphas can't exist when, like you said, people have to understand their lanes. You know what I mean? And you get with somebody who understands their lane, then you can coexist. And if you with somebody who don't understand that lane before you actually get to that level of marriage and all that other stuff, then you be out from the rip. Like, I'm not gonna waste my time with you if we can't build together and get along with each other. So we're never gonna get the marriage. You know what I'm saying? So 2 alphas can exist. Y'all know about me. I own a couple businesses. This is what I do. You know what I'm saying? And I would not own my businesses without my wife, because she gave me better understanding about how to run business and gave me that push to get to the level that I'm at now. You know what I'm saying? Like, I had the idea, but she said, "Babe, like, what the fuck? Like, you working over here at Nordstrom? Like, You a chef. Go be a chef. And she was like, and I was like, but if I go and be a chef, I'm gonna take a couple steps back, and we're gonna lose money. And she was like, I got you. She really ain't have me, but I believed it. You know what I'm saying? So we thrive and we good over here. But you have to believe in your partner and believe what they're saying. And she has to. We both have to step back at certain times.
So Kyle, great point, right? But there's not too many women that would have told you, that would have supported you leaving a definite. I know what I'm gonna get every 2 weeks.
I hear what you said, but I don't believe that. I think that might be a you thing in the circle that you travel in.
No, hold on. Time out, Kyle. All right, real quick, because you said that before. When I speak, I don't speak of personal experience. I speak off of several different scenarios. It may be me, it may be friends, it may be associates. I don't just speak from me. So when I speak,
said your circle.
Everybody think I'm speaking just from my personal experience. I'm not. Let me tell you, real shit. I ask, like, before this podcast even started, I asked people a lot of different. I'm involved in a lot of different social groups, and I ask questions. Like I talked about, like what we're talking about right now. I just had this kind of discussion with 50 or 60 men and women.
But
before we had this tonight?
What's the quality of the people?
So I'm not. Huh?
What's the quality of the people you're talking to? You can't talk to
college degrees. Educated, some entrepreneurs, some. So I'm around sharp. I'm around sharp people.
I'm not questioning that.
I'm around sharp people, but again, everybody, a lot of women is not going to support their guy leaving a definite salary to go after either a dream or a non-guaranteed job. Like that movie, for example, the movie. Hold on, Kyle.
You got
the movie Pursuit of Happiness. The movie Pursuit of Happiness. That happens more often than not.
And all
you seen that movie?
It's a circle thing. I'm telling you, it's a circle thing, and where you come from, it's that's not true. There's like a thing to where, like, all right, look, can I say something? I travel in different circles. I have those people. I have these people. Now, I'm gonna give you a couple. Ted Wells, Nina and Ted Wells. I'm around them. If you know who Nina and Ted Wells are, if you don't, Google who they are. They're very wealthy black people, very wealthy, like millionaires. You know what I'm saying? But they give each other that push to be great. I have an aunt who's a public defender of New Jersey, the first black woman public defender of New Jersey, and they're trying to whitewash her now. And her husband, God rest his soul, had put together to dip with 2 banks he put together, but they were very wealthy. But she knows her lane. She's strong as hell, bro. Like when I talk to her, her mouth is so goddamn red. I promise you, because she's a wealthy black woman and she comes with a different kind of status. But when it comes to she bowed out because she knew how to play her role and how to be successful. You have to come together.
But that's when it goes back to choosing the right person. Like what you said, it goes back.
You gotta choose the right person. You gotta
choose the right person. These are things that you ask in the beginning of the relationship. You recognize if you're with an alpha person that can adjust or that cannot adjust.
Automatically.
You'll learn that pretty early on, because most alpha personalities, they have to let you know that they alpha. They reek of it. And a lot of
right
people
away.
also ego.
Right
they
away.
reek of it. So
that goes to say
people
what Becca said. That goes back to what Becca said before, like, especially with the women, like, you want this type of man, but are you that type of woman?
Right.
Most of the time, they're not.
Can't adjust. Got to get out of there.
That's right.
Quickly.
You both have
Quickly.
the alpha woman. Like you don't want or alpha woman needs an alpha man. Like I promise you, and I'll say it again. I have 3 daughters and a son. You know what I'm saying? My 3 daughters they're not going half on bills with no man. It's not fucking happening. I promise you, it's not gonna happen. Like that's a roommate. My daughters don't need no goddamn roommate. They can stay at home for free. They don't have to make love to them. They can stay at home for free. I got them. I promise you. So I'm building a different type of pedigree in my house. We're not doing it, and my son as well. My son, woman's broke nigga. We're not doing that.
KB.
So
This is
so
hold on a second, Murph. KB, I'm gonna be real honest with you. That sounds really good. That your daughters will not be nobody's roommate. They're not going half on no bills at all. That sounds really good. However,
I know what you're going to say. Go ahead.
However, when you are a woman dealing with a man that does all of those things financially, that comes with a certain mindset. Most of the time, women want those bills paid, but they don't want to be spoken to a certain way. A type of man that will do that pays all those bills, is going to have a lot of requirements. Sometimes, most of the time, those requirements, they seem very patriarchal and demeaning. That man is not going to come home and want to hear a goddamn thing out of nobody's mouth if he's paying all the bills in the house. So that's great. All the women's bills are paid. Mm-hmm. But she's also going to have to do a lot more than just be there in his face, smiling and being pretty. It's so much cleaning, so much cooking a woman's going to do. She's going to have to deal with a lot from that man because he is providing 100% financially. All right. So just keep that in mind. It sounds good, but it's not always the way people think it will be. That man that's paying all those bills is going to have a lot of requirements.
I mean,
most women will not do it.
Real talk.
Well, I think that KB said that because he said that he's the judge, jury, and executioner in his household.
That's right.
So I think he's trying to live in that way.
Yeah.
If I take care of your wants and your needs, and if I take care of your wants and your needs and put money in your pocket, why should I come home to a cooked meal in my house clean?
And then what if she says, I don't feel like cooking tonight? I don't care if all the bills are in the house. I don't feel like cooking tonight.
She don't have to physically cook it. Long as it's food there, she can order this shit. I don't care.
She don't feel like doing it that day.
Then we might have.
That's just somebody just flat out being. She just being hard headed at that.
Yeah, we gonna have a problem.
Yeah, like damn, you can't order.
You can't order.
Like you can't.
That's a little crazy right there. I'm sorry.
Hold on. Let me say this.
Go ahead.
That woman is purposely being difficult because see,
that's wacky.
You are as a woman. You are instilled to do those things by your parent or your mom, whoever raised you. You should be cooking. You should know how to clean, all that shit. You should treat your home as if it's how you would treat your home if you living by your damn self. So we're not going to sit here and be like, oh, well, now I got food and he's doing everything and I just don't feel like doing nothing. That should be, if he's doing everything and you get to stay home and chill, it should be no excuse why there's no dinner. It should be no excuse why the house is not clean. None of that shit, bro. That's just a woman being difficult.
So we talking about, she made a key point about being like demeaning, right? So a lot of times when men are in that position and they dealing with women that are staying at home, they deal with a lot of mental abuse that's not spoke of because she might want to talk to you that day. She might have had a bad day, but you don't want to hear it, and you feel entitled to not listening to it because you worked that day. You got up at 8, 6, whatever o'clock in the morning and went to work that day. So if you come home like, I don't want to hear it, she's gonna shut up because that's how she used to you talking to her. So we're not talking about just cooked meals. It's bigger than that. So it does kind of come with the price. In some circumstances, not all, but just being a housekeeper, a homekeeper, whatever.
I mean, but you don't gotta be an asshole.
That's why I said it takes about communication. I think it takes about communication.
In a lot of cases,
y'all painting this picture
right? Because Italian people are known for having stay at home.
Hold on.
One at a time.
Italian people are known for having stay at home wives, and them Italian women, they're actually very headstrong. But when they start, once their business, the man's business and stuff is established, now the woman wants to start her own business and this and the third. The Italian men do get upset. Like they feel like they're being neglected. They feel like the attention is no longer there because now she's running her own business. She's becoming her own person. And they don't like the fact that she's getting that attention and not giving them the attention they wanted and they had in prior.
So so you kind of piggyback off what Mia said and what Becca said. And again, I'm about to say something before motherfuckers say, oh, Merv, this is coming from other females associates that have said this to me. All right.
All right, go ahead.
Mm-hmm.
So I've also heard from females that when they've dealt with a guy that pays for everything, in addition to what Becca said they deal with, in addition to what Mia said they deal with, a lot of times that guy deals with other women, and he don't try to, and not on some sneak shit, it's on some like, yo, what you tripping on? You don't have to pay for nothing. I pay for everything. So if I feel like dibbling and dabbling every now and again, what's the fucking problem?
There's a movie that goes with that, Merv. What's that movie called with Jennifer Lopez when her man paid for everything?
Yeah, I know.
Enough.
Enough. Yeah.
Look.
That's psychological. That's psychological. That's all that is.
Yeah,
That's a psychological type of.
Whether you're paying all the bills or not, a motherfucker going to cheat. That has nothing to do with anything. What I'm saying is
no. Hold on, Kyle. I didn't say cheat. Hold up. Like, not also.
It's still.
Okay, hold on. I was. Okay. Well, I'm talking about almost like, yo, this is what I'm going to do. You need to accept it.
Okay,
like, what's your issue? So, no sneak shit. It's almost
that's
like,
also,
yo,
that's also
I will have you. If I want to have her, that's what's going to happen. You gotta deal with it.
But that's the visual thing. That's not a man thing. I've never personally seen that. But I'm not saying it doesn't happen either. Don't get me wrong.
You know what? Hey, Kyle, you know sometimes.
Damn, Merv, let him finish his statement.
I'm not saying that it doesn't happen because I like to always express that I live my real life, but I also live my real life. You get what I'm saying? Like, just because you're a successful person, man or woman, you don't have to be an asshole about it. And everybody's not. Everybody's not walking around with their chest poked out. You know what I'm saying? And that comes down to finding somebody who you're equally yoked with. You know what I mean? You don't want to be with people who walk around with their chest poked out. If you don't, then why you being with them? Like, that don't even make sense. But it ain't about the money. Like, I give you an estimate. I love my wife, but my wife, she really don't cook and clean, right? I keep it real with you. But I have like, I ain't trying to be funky, but I have a maid and I eat. You get what I'm saying? Like, that's fine. She makes it happen. Like, that's somebody who really cares about you and cares about your needs and what you want and what things are. Some things are deal breakers and some things aren't. You get what I'm saying? Like that's somebody who loves you and wants the best for you and push you. She understands that's not that she does well, but she wants to see me happy. She know that's something that's I care about. So she makes it happen. Like, if you were a chick that don't cook and she be like, oh, I ain't cooking. Bitch, what the fuck you mean you ain't cooking tonight? That shit don't even make sense. I just went shopping today. Everything you want is here. Whatever, you drive a nice car, you got a roof over your head. I asked for the minimum. You can't do that shit. That's some whack shit.
What were you gonna say, Tyson?
So that comes with you paying the bills, right?
No. I'm agreeing with KB. Like Merv, like you have something. It's like we've all like have our own experiences. We all have like this different situations we've all been in, or what have you. And I think like it's all about communication. And it's really, I'm telling you, like really, you gotta go know. Really true. I'm going back for what KB says. Like, know who your mate is. Like, if that person ain't with it, and just like what Mark said before, look, deuces. Look, that person got to go. Like, because like it's not gonna be kosher. Like, it really not.
Yeah.
It's always,
you know what I'm saying? And save yourself the trouble. I mean, if you recognize that shit quick, you know what I mean? You got to get up out of here. Fuck that.
I agree with Mark and Kyle. Like, you see red flags. Or you can see a red flag within a year. Like, people been married for people not even married. People been together for 5 years and stop tolerating the bullshit. What are you looking for? Like, what do you see?
Right.
And you know what's bad though? Like, when you see that, right, and you'll see a man or a woman, right, and they might have been with this, they might have been with this person for X amount of years, and they look defeated. They look like they've been in a fight and got beat the fuck up. Like, that looks bad. Like, you know what I'm saying? You know, like me, I'm never gonna allow myself to go through that. Like, even if I took an L, it ain't gonna be no long-term L. It's gonna be like, I took an L, now I'm out. You know what I'm saying?
You gotta be
My
like,
mom,
too
she
many
don't
people
feel like
walking around
cooking
like that.
sometimes. My mother don't feel like cooking sometimes, so but she'll order dinner. She won't
Right.
leave my dad and that shit. Not even
So
me.
your dad
She
eat.
won't leave my dad starving. She definitely she meal preps.
Nah, don't leave him starved.
She
Hey,
meal
hold up,
preps.
hold up. Somebody just
She
changed that.
meal
Hold
preps,
up.
and then from time to time she don't feel like cooking, so she'll order food.
So what
Hey,
about
Kyle,
if?
I'm
All right.
listening.
So what about if it
read
goes both
that
ways?
statement
What
right
about
there.
in households where two people are working, male and female, husband and wife, boyfriend, girlfriend, they're working. So the woman should just do all the cooking because I like to be cooked for. Just saying.
Oh, my dad cooked
I
too.
have the statement down
oh
here.
no, I would
I
do this. I would
have,
do.
look,
I would cook
Hold
the
up.
woman.
I'm reading the statement. I have no
I definitely cook
problem.
the woman.
Why can't you bring the
I
Yeah,
have no
you can
look,
bring home
real
food.
talk. I have no problem with bringing home dinner, and I do
Oh yeah,
it.
definitely. I have no problem with that.
I understand.
Yeah.
Like I do my part and then some. You know what I'm saying? I'm a chef. That's what I do. Yeah, it's nothing. Like that's some light work. But what I'm saying is the days that I don't want to cook, my wife is gonna make sure I eat. You know what I'm saying? Like that's some minimum shit. Like
But it's called taking care of each other.
right.
And that's
Real
what
talk, 'cause
we
she
gonna
care
make
about this shit. Yeah.
like my wife
Yo,
right now, but like I'm on my way home.
Cause she
Right.
Mhm.
Hey, if you ain't gonna cook, just call me first before I walk in the crib.
Right.
Just call me first. Like, yo,
She want to
I
make
don't
sure
feel
you
like
straight.
cooking
She
tonight.
want
All
to be
right,
showing.
cool.
Mark, what
Just
you're
call.
saying is
Cool. All right.
correct.
Good.
See, that's where I said communication plays a big
Right.
part. So if you don't feel like cooking that day,
Big
call your
part.
partner,
Big
let
part.
them know
Yep.
that I
Yeah.
don't feel like cooking. Can we
Hit
order
me up.
food? Or they
Look,
might be like, "Oh, I'll cook when I
I
get
want.
home." Or yeah, let's order food. Like
What you
it's a
want?
communication thing, and a lot of relationships are
Yeah, you can be
lacking
like, boo. What you want to
communication.
eat? What you want to eat, boo? What you want to eat?
Yeah.
Hey,
A
so
I
simple
got
phone
you. Let's
call.
go.
I'm trying to build. Like I want
Let's go, Paul.
want my wife to be my friend and everything. Like I'm trying to build. Like
who can,
Mhm.
I'm coming home to some like I deal with the real world. I'm dealing with employees. I'm dealing with niggas in the street. I'm dealing with a whole lot of other shit. You know what I'm saying? So my house needs to be my salvation. Needs to be my peace. You know what I'm saying? That's her job to make my house cool. I
I gotta be.
home to
Gotta be.
and I
Let
gotta
me
make
say
it cool
this.
for her too.
Let me say this.
hey, read that comment
Hold
too.
on. Let me say this real quick. It got okay. So my dad is the alpha. My mom's the alpha too, or whatever. But she's also domestic,
Mhm.
right? But my father's domestic too,
Mhm.
right? But my dad is retired now, so my mom is still working. So the roles have switched, and that's how it works out. He irons her work uniform for work because he knows she's so tired. He'll
she done helped.
get up at 5 o'clock in the morning. He'll make breakfast because she worked overnight. So when she come home, there's breakfast for her to eat. So he irons her
Aww.
clothes, he does the
Because they're
dishes.
looking out for one another. That's looking
Yeah, and he
out for
Yeah.
one another.
he
Yep.
cleans the
They
Yep.
working as a
bathroom.
Yep.
team.
When
I
it's cleanup
understand
day,
that.
That's what,
he got the bathroom. My
and
mom
that's what
says
it's supposed to be.
nobody can clean the
Teamwork.
bathroom better than a man, right? So the roles have switched. He knows that he has more time on his hands. Now he's doing for her while
Because,
she's at work.
because he knows she worth it. That's why. Because he
Right.
knows she
Yep.
worth it.
Yeah.
Hey, can y'all read that comment?
Teamwork makes the dream work. Like real rap. Teamwork makes
Y'all
the
go
dream
surf.
work. Like that. Y'all go
So the
surf and see
comment
that can
says,
happen.
y'all
You know
go
what I mean?
surf through Kevin Samuels' group. You'll see a lot of men that think the way Merv just described.
Wait,
And that's
Merv,
absolutely right.
And that
That's
may be
absolutely
right,
right.
but a lot of people are damaged. They're damaged, and they don't even know it. They're
Yeah.
damaged. Like I look,
Yep.
my thing is like real talk. I grew up without. I have a father, and he was in and out. But at the same time, he didn't do what the fuck he was supposed to do. And I see my mom go through it with her 3 kids. So my whole thing in my life was to be better than this motherfucker. To be better
I
than
feel
him.
you on that.
You know what I'm saying?
But
So,
that goes back to what I said earlier.
that's like what I said earlier about you becoming an alpha personality is based on the conditions that you were in at the moment. Because it wasn't like, it wasn't a choice that you was like, well, I'm just gonna choose to be alpha. If I had red pill or blue pill. Like sometimes a lot of alpha, if you ask a lot of alpha personalities what made them that way, they can give you multiple examples or a current situation that they're in at the moment that will define, well, this is why I had to be alpha. I know some men who are alpha men because they were raised by single mothers. So the mother made them the man of the house. So they had to develop these qualities of being an alpha and providing for their mom like a man would.
At an early
so now
age.
when they themselves are in a
Yep.
relationship,
And I understand that.
they can't help but be alpha.
Right here. Yep. Right here.
So you don't
I
think
mean,
that there's
I understand that, but if a man, you know, like if a man like if he has the example of what a man is supposed to be, he's an alpha male. What a man is supposed to be, he gonna want to follow that. You know what I'm saying? Shit, I had my dad. My dad was the man. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, shit, I want to be the man too. You know what I mean? So, you know what I mean? That's the example I follow. That's it.
Hold on 1 second. What were you
Nick
going
got
to say, Nick?
something.
Hold
Nick
on.
got
What were you going to
something.
say, Nick?
Oh, I was just gonna ask you, Becca. So, like, you don't think that like anyone is like a alpha naturally? You don't think it's like any like, or it's just is only because of circumstance?
You got to be bred that way.
I think circumstance and situation will probably be 90-10 maybe. I think if
they play a
there's
big
no
part.
reason, if there isn't a situation that puts them in the alpha role, I don't think it's automatic. I think sometimes life just puts you in an alpha situation at any given time of your life. It can happen at any moment. Like when my mom and my parents have been together since they were young. And my dad was always the one who he didn't rule with an iron fist, but I remember my dad, you know, as growing up, I just remember my dad making certain decisions, and I always see my mom and them, you know, do it together. It wasn't until my dad got sick with cancer that I seen my mother just nosedive right into that alpha personality that she's always had. And it was a lot of times where my dad got so sick he couldn't. My father always drove. My mother did not get her license until she was like well an adult. In New York, you don't really need one. So my father always drove. My mother had a ID. She did not have a driver's license. It wasn't until later in life where she was like, I want to start driving. And my dad was like, really? Like, oh, okay, you know, whatever. He always drove. Then when my dad got sick with cancer and could not drive anymore, and my mother had to drive him around, my mother told me that it used to bother my father. It used to bother him because he was like, I'm the one that always drives. It was one time when he was driving and they almost got into a really, really bad accident. And my mom had to be like, all right, enough. I'm driving now. That's it. I don't want to hear nothing else. Because now his illness was taken over and she had to run into that alpha personality. She always had it, but never had to display it until the time came.
It was time for
Same
Roe.
with me.
That's right.
Same with me. I've always, my dad was like my hero, so I was always used to that. It wasn't until I became a single mom that I had to really be an alpha woman. And then I was an alpha woman for 10 plus years, for almost 10 years, and then my husband came.
Right,
so now
because
it's like, I gotta be a beta. And now sometimes I'm alpha, sometimes I'm the beta. So it goes back and forth. But I didn't naturally become an alpha. I had to be because of my circumstance.
Right. But dad has that
natural for me.
And was.
Yeah, I was asking because like I watch a lot of nature shows, and you know, you see it like in nature, you'll have like the runts, you know, who won't be the alpha, but then you have like the biggest, you know, usually like the biggest, you know, or the best fighter, you know, that is the alpha. It's you know, so it's natural for them to become the alpha of the pack, you know, or you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like with animals.
Yeah.
But then again, their situation. Look at they're in nature. So there's a requirement where the alpha, where you have to be an alpha. Their local, what's the word I'm looking for? The situation that they're in, their environment, it causes them to have to be an alpha.
That's true too.
Let me ask
Yo.
and Kai. Go ahead, Sean.
Yo, let me transition real quick. Hey, shout out to Zingo TV, Blackjack Channel 199. Shout out to YouTube. Shout out to everybody who rocked with us tonight. We're going to go into overdrive. We're going to go into to overtime because we still have a lot of comments. We still have a lot of active people out there, and you all are having a great conversation. So we don't want to cut off completely. So let's go ahead and go into overtime. Y'all got it.
Go ahead, Tina.
Yeah, so I wanted to basically ask Mia and Kai their views on the part that we're talking about right now.
As far as if
go ahead.
Go ahead. As far as if it's a learned behavior or if you're born with it.
Yeah.
True.
I think honestly, I was raised in my mom is a Muslim, so I was raised in a very disciplined environment. And throughout my development, I was not allowed to make many decisions. In Islam, you know, women, we don't make many decisions. So I would say that I believe that it is a combination of environment and circumstances. I didn't become an alpha until I had to be. It was a series of circumstances in my life that put me in a position to where I didn't have a choice. I mean, as far as I saw it, I didn't have a choice. Like, I wasn't going to fold and be a weak woman for my child. I was going to be a stand-up individual and do the things that I needed to do to make sure that her development was always conducive.
So I got a question.
Born alpha, I became an alpha.
Sometimes you born that way.
I got a question for the single ladies, for the single moms. All right.
Hold on, Mia didn't get a chance to give her a response.
Yeah.
I think that it's a learned behavior, my opinion, but it also is instinct. You know, like we all have instinct, and it comes about in different circumstances, like I was saying. So, like for me, like I was raised by my dad. So a lot of decisions I made was from what I was taught. So when it came to my kids or just life experiences, prime example, there's a lot of things that my friends were doing growing up that I didn't do. And I was the timid one, I feel. But when it came to like hard situations, then I just had to step up. And I learned that from my father because he always stepped up. But as far as instinct goes, that came with me being a mom. You know, I just had that instinct of naturally of what I needed to do, you know, fight or flight. That's kind of like how it went.
So I got 2 questions. One is for the single mothers or former single mothers, and one is for the ladies. Single mothers. Like Becca said, you didn't become alpha till you had no choice. When you became a single mother, you had to hold it down for y'all kids. All right. How at that point you the judge and you everything right. You everything at that moment. How hard is it, if it's hard, when you meet someone and then your say ain't the final say no more? How hard is it to transition that? Because I've met some females that was a single mother, had kids, and it was a very difficult transition for them not being the end all be all.
It's very difficult. Yeah. It's very difficult because we have always, during our duration of having to be alpha, never had to consult anybody with anything. Nobody else's opinion mattered. Nobody else's opinion was even considered because we had the final say, or I would just say me. Let me speak for myself. I had the final say in anything that went on in my household. So when meeting someone who was willing to step in and help me, the struggle is not only letting them do it because I've always done it myself, but then also critiquing the way they do it. So it's a double struggle because you can make the bed, but I like the bed made this way. So I'll let you make the bed and then you need to make it the way I want to. Like it could be so little. It could be so little. Such a small thing that doesn't really matter. But because the issue is not only that we have to let go of the control, but also look at what the situation is and the outcome is different than what we wanted it to be. We struggle and fight with that internally because it's a blessing that somebody wants to come and help, but help me the way I want to be helped and not help in your way. So it's a million thoughts going on in your mind.
You can't force it. Yeah, you can't force it.
It is difficult, and you don't always learn it right away. There's still a lot of things that I still have to remember. Okay, it's not just me. It's not just me. It's not just me. Everything from finances to dinner to what we're doing that weekend. I could be like, I could just roll out with me and Jazzy all day, like grab my kid and roll out. But I'm like, oh wait, let me ask my husband what he wants to do this weekend. It's something that's simple. You could just be like, oh, I'll straight. Damn, oops.
All right. Who's the others? Is it Kai and Mia?
I feel like
Nick too.
Go ahead, Mia.
I kind of feel like I have to myself feel that it's coming from a genuine place for me to relinquish that type of control to someone else. Because you can't just walk through the door and just like, okay, I'm the man or I'm your man, so I say this and I guess the kid should be doing this. Before you throw, like your weight around, you need to get to know them first. You need to learn how to talk to them. I need to feel like it's respect, and they have to respect you too, because that's how I raised them. But it's the approach. So, if I can genuinely see that you have like their best interest, I don't mind you saying anything to them as long as it's not like abuse, anything like that. But I kind of feel like you just abusing your power just because you're a male. I'm not comfortable with that.
Or trying to show off because you're trying to make sure you get the girl.
That's it.
That's
also
I'm
lame.
doing this. I'm trying to show off with the kids because I'm trying to get the girl. I get what Mia's saying. They got to be genuine. Your kid got to. You got to. I don't have kids, but I know this from watching my friends. That man has to genuinely have a relationship with the child. Just them and their child.
So for me, it was very difficult. My situation is a little bit different because my child is older. She's 20. But in my situation, it was hard for me. Okay. So in order for you to allow another human being to come into your life on a level where you are willing to compromise, you have to, 1, trust that individual. 2, you have to change your thought process. Because the thought process with me for so long was just my child and myself. It was never another human being that came into the equation. But as of right now, it requires trust from me. And I trust my dude enough to be submissive to him when necessary. Like, he'll let me know. He'll let me know in his way. And also the mate is important as well. Like, if your mate is patient with you because of your circumstances prior to them, then that's very important as well. It requires a lot of patience because in order the result of you adapted, your thought is different. Being an alpha and having to provide for other people, your thought is completely different. So it takes a lot. It's very difficult, and your mate has to be understanding to your prior circumstance prior to them coming.
Nick,
So technically I have been single since my divorce in 2012. So that's why that's why I wasn't really saying too much here.
Okay.
Because, I have not had, I answered to my kids' fathers regarding,
Gotcha.
our kids.
So a follow-up question, ladies. Once you realize they're genuine and y'all get in a serious relationship or even involves to marriage, at that point, does he become the alpha and head of household, even over the kids that he's not the father of?
That's situational. I think it's situational. I know when it comes to my daughter, my husband doesn't really step in and say, well, this is how it has to be. Like, he would usually let me make those decisions in regards to things with Jasmine, but I still discuss it with him because we have to be on the same accord because we're both now parenting her. But he has not come to me and be like, well, now that I'm your husband and now that I'm the man of the house, I get to say what happens with Jasmine. He's never said that to me. I know that can happen, but he's never said that to me.
So do you see yourself relinquishing it to him voluntarily, saying you got it, you got the final say over this house?
I can because I know that he has my daughter's best interest, or I wouldn't have married him. So I can.
Me, Kai.
I agree with Becca. Same here. I don't have any issues with it. I mean,
if I could chime in,
it's for the ladies.
That's the ladies.
Hold on, Kyle. Hold on. The ladies answer.
You got it.
Kyle, you going next?
Okay, yeah. No, once the trust is gained and once the the genuineness has been proved, I don't have a problem allowing him to lead the household. It's not a problem. Like I'm not in this to win. I'm in this to have longevity. I'm in this to have love. I'm in this to have happiness. I'm not in this to win. So once it's been proven and I'm comfortable, I'm cool with that.
All right. What I'm gonna ask a situational question for Becca, Kai, and Mia. Your kid wants to do something, and you see all the passion that they're in whatever they want to do. You kind of don't mind them doing it, but their stepdad or whoever's the stepdad or the long-term boyfriend that's eventually going to be you see as a husband disagrees and don't think they should do it. How you handling that situation?
That will require discussion. That will require extreme communication. I would need to know and understand why my mate disagrees with my child doing this. And then we will have to come to an agreement. Either we agree to disagree or, and also it depends on the age of the child. Like, at a certain point, we parents, we still have a say, but we don't have that much say. So it's a lot of factors in that.
Communication.
I agree with Ty on that one because it really depends. I mean, I feel like I have boys, so just a male would be more lenient on certain things because they are boys than I would as a mom, sometimes vice versa. So it's something we have to talk about. But I would not undermine what he's saying in front of my kids. I wouldn't want to teach them that,
But
I think that I would have to approach that conversation with an open mind because it's always been me and my kids since she was in the belly. Her father has no presence in her life at all. So I've always been the yes or no in regards to everything in her life. So I would have to approach that conversation openly. And it would be a discussion. I would have to ask, well, why don't you think she should be able to do this? But also my daughter's 10, so she's at that age where she's able to express her own feelings. So I tried my very best to allow my daughter to express herself openly. Sometimes she's 10, so sometimes the emotions are all over the place. But I still want to get her input. I know that would matter. I would have to honestly approach that very carefully because I'm mama bear. So I would have to tell myself to relax because I'd be like, what is my kid? I would have to actually tell myself to calm.
Well, I don't have no kids, but I gotta play devil's advocate like I always do. Why would he say no to my child wanting to do something that they're passionate about? Like, it would have to be a legitimate aspect, like, oh, we about to move. Or something
they could be passionate about stripping. They could be swinging around the damn pole and getting dollars thrown at them. You just don't know.
I mean, I would say no. That's a discussion. I'm not gonna just sit down with my nigga and talk about, oh, she want to strip. Why can't she strip? No, she can't fucking strip either. We're gonna be on the same accord with that one.
So Tina, when I say passionate, I'm not talking about maybe they want to do a sport and want to play basketball. Kids, they're passionate about everything. Whatever they want to do, if they just want to go out to go to a basketball game with their friends, they're gonna be passionate about it. So maybe I use the wrong word.
Okay, so
just something that a kid really want to do. So let me take the passionate word out.
I spoke on that for myself. I did speak on that early in the conversation where I didn't go into specifics, but I wanted to go to a party. My parents knew the family, this and the third. My dad was like, I'm not taking her. And my mom got tired of shit like that. And at that time, she was not driving. Eventually, she got her license. She bought herself a car, so she wouldn't have to ask my father to do shit like that no more.
But he didn't say you couldn't go. He said, I'm not taking you.
Right. And basically, that's how he go.
But he probably didn't want you to go, though.
Here's the thing.
Hold up, Mark.
Here's the thing, because he knew I wasn't going to get there unless it was through him.
Okay.
All right, yeah. So that was basically like a no.
Okay.
Yeah, he didn't want you to go.
Why on this green earth is?
growing up go through a phase where, you know, it's I said yes, but I said no, but I said yes, but I said no. I went through a phase with my parents where my mom was like, oh, you're not about to sit there and just say no to our daughter all the time. She's a child. She needs to have a child's life. If there's a slumber party, she needs to be able to go, this and the third. So she ended up getting her own shit. So she ain't have to ask it for shit no more. So I'm not gonna lie, there is probably gonna be a point where the parents do disagree. And somebody is gonna have to make a decision, and the father might not have the final say.
So, but Tina, there's a big difference in your scenario.
It was your father.
Not to minimize it, but when the two parents are not the biological, when there's a step parent involved, it becomes much more stickier in that situation, compared to your situation where both of those was your biological parent. All right, the guy is any guys that step parents?
No.
So you want to chime in on this then?
Yeah, I'm gonna chime in. All right, now I'm gonna give you like a thing here. All right, me and my wife were divorced, right? But I'm still, like I said, I've been in my son's life more than half his life, right? So I think God made her have a great communication when it come to him, like, you know, what have you. So, like, I know in certain situations she'd be like, all right, you can handle it. Like, you know, like in certain situations she'd be like, all right, like, listen to him or what have you. It's not gonna be like dividing parents type of situation. That's the type of, see, it's all about, like, with us, it's communication. So it's like, look, you're not gonna be like, all right, like my mom said, like, no, it's gotta be like a together type of answer.
I'll tell you like this.
I know, I know it's not that type of situation for everybody.
I'll say like this: I get thrown into situations like that. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like it's female friends that I have, female cousins or whatever. Yo, go talk to your Uncle Mark, see what he think. Like, so I get thrown into shit whether I want to be in it or not. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And they trust my judgment with whatever happens. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So that's kind of how it is. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like, man, take everything on a case-by-case basis.
That's still a little different. So the reason why I was asking, because we're talking about alpha, you know, alpha male, alpha female. So the reason why I was asking, when you're an alpha female, alpha parent, and then you meet somebody, and then you got to decide whether you're gonna let them be an alpha parent to your kids, and they're not the biological parent. That's why
we're both alphas though.
You still have to be. It still has to be a legitimate reason. Okay, you said a basketball game as an example. Why don't you want our? I'm gonna say our kid because we're together too. I'm not gonna say my kid. We're together, so it's our kid. Why don't you want them to go to a basketball game? It needs to be something where their grades are messed up. They have homework that they need to do. They were disrespectful a few days ago, or that's not a safe place where the game is being held at. It's not a safe place. Other than that, there's no other reason why you would tell me no.
Right.
But then that's where you come into
the discussion. I'm sure that with the difference of opinions of yes versus no, there will be reasons on both sides. The reasons why you think they should, the reasons why you think they shouldn't. So I'm sure
exactly, Mia. So when that happens, that's why I asked: do you allow the father be the final say so? As the you know, that's a little more traditional. That's the traditional alpha parent is go ask your dad. What if he says that's what goes?
For me, the relationship.
Can I chime in now?
For me, the relationship that I had with the father, not after I'm done, translates into you know, our parenting, our co-parenting relationship. So my daughter's father, super traditional, super old school. I knew that going into the situation. So when we have our daughter, I respect that. He gets the final, you know, like she wants to get a haircut. She can't cut her hair until she's like 18, you know, grown out the house because he don't believe in that. You know, before, you know, when she wanted to color her hair, I went and I asked him. But whereas with my ex-husband, we made the decisions together. So it's the same thing there.
Okay.
Kyle,
go ahead, Kyle.
That was hold on real quick, Kyle. That was a good compromise. Hold on, Kyle.
He's not talking about.
Hold on, Kyle. That was a good compromise, Nick. And that's conversations that parents usually have way beyond. Like, okay, they're not going to get their ears pierced until this age. They're not going to color their hair until this age or whatever. But if I compromise with you and you say, okay, you don't want them to go to this basketball game, cool. Y'all won't go to the basketball. But we're going to compromise. The next event, that child should be allowed to go.
Oh, yeah.
All right. But Merv is talking about, y'all talking about your co-parenting situation. He's not even talking about a co-parenting situation. He's talking about the new relationship. He's not even talking about a co-parenting
so then with the
situation.
step, you're right.
Let me finish.
You're right.
Let me finish.
Go ahead, Kyle.
He's talking about a co-parent. So at the same time, I feel that once a woman feels comfortable and believes in her significant other the same way with the man, believes in his new wife, his new girlfriend, then there shouldn't be no problems. If you feel like you trust this guy or this girl and you loving them and you trying to be with them, you trying to have a life with them, then you should trust them with your kids. Like that, it goes hand in hand. If I don't trust you with my kids, then we can't be together, period. It don't even make sense.
Real quick.
We're not gonna get that.
Ace, hold on real quick. So Kai is gonna leave us right now, guys.
Right.
So she just giving y'all some love before she goes.
Yo, we appreciate it, Kai, for real. We really, we love you. We appreciate you, yo.
Thank you, y'all. I had a ball as always.
Yeah.
Y'all enjoy.
One love, yo.
And ladies, hold it down. Don't let them get over it. Hold it down.
Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Yeah.
But I just want to give an example. Like, there's something that my mother told me. I didn't know a lot of the things. As a kid, you don't really know all the stuff that your parents go through. And then after my father's death, there was a couple things that my mom told me in regards to me and my sister growing up. So because I was such a daddy's girl, my father always took responsibility of me and usually would say, not put his foot down, but my mother would just let him, have the last say in regards to me. I wasn't like a horrible kid, but it would just be like, let her do it. My mother would be like, no, I don't want Becky to, and my father would be like, no, let her do it. She'll be fine. It wasn't until I was in my 30s, until after my father's death, that I realized that my father's alpha personality hindered my mother's parenting. Because when she wanted to be a mom, here comes my dad's alpha personality jumping right in. And it would stop her a lot of the times. So it wasn't until my dad passed where I realized that being such a daddy's girl and my father having such an alpha personality, it made my situation with my mother, my relationship with my mother, very different. It wasn't like I had a bad relationship with my mom, but I was so much of a daddy's girl, and his personality was so strong that my mother often had to be the beta. So I realized that now that when I became an alpha personality,
oh my God,
and dealing with Thank you, Cuzzo. If nobody has my back, Zach's got my back.
Go ahead, finish your statement.
But I didn't realize that sometimes.
Do you know who that was?
I didn't realize sometimes that alpha personality, that's why I asked earlier about the alpha personality, how that affects other relationships like parenting and friendships and business and things like that, because you sometimes don't realize it can work against you. That not being able to hold back and give somebody else the time to make a decision can affect certain relationships you have in the long run, just because you just gotta be an alpha.
So I want to say this, Becca. Did you know who that was? That wasn't Stacks.
Oh, that wasn't.
That's why I said swipe or no swipe it. But I wanted to. We've been talking about the ladies a lot being the alpha women a lot. A lot of the blame on us. Let's talk about the guys. Let's talk about the guys who want to do this 50-50 shit. Let's talk about that. We got to get on these alpha males too. We've been talking about the ladies a lot.
Look at Mark's face.
Let's talk about I'm sure it's not the guys on this panel, but there are. Merv did speak on, you know, because I know what he's talking about. I've been in these group chats, like it's crazy. And that's what's his name? The Steven guy?
Steven Samuels, right?
Kevin Samuels.
Kevin Samuels. Kevin, my bad. So there.
Pork rinds. Yeah.
I like
nope,
him.
that's
I might
sushi.
be like
no pork rind sushi.
Or maybe 5% of women that actually do agree with what he's saying.
I agree with Kevin too.
I'm a woman, and he be saying some real shit.
Is that sushi?
You know what the ladies don't like?
Sushi.
That they're being exposed. Women do not like to be exposed, and he's exposing the women, and they don't like that shit. But I be sitting here like, damn, this nigga is telling some truth out this motherfucker.
Yeah, he be out there.
Just like everybody was, Derek Jackson, and now you got somebody who's speaking against the women, and it's fuck that motherfucker. We hate this motherfucker. This nigga been hurt as a child. He probably gay, right? Which I did touch on before, where if a woman feels like a guy, they don't like what the man is saying, they consider like, oh, you gay, you hurt, your mama hurt you, this, then, and the third. But let's talk on the fellas.
That be the damaged women.
What
I hate them all.
Feel about the men who feel like, they'll say this. Oh, it's 2000. It's 2020. It's 2021. That was old school for the man to pay for everything or to do 60-40. We doing half and half, or it's nothing. I'm gonna
say what I always say. Men who complain taking care of their household are the men who can't do it. If you're a man,
I agree with that. That's facts. Because I heard that before too. Like, everything gonna be 50-50. And like Casey said earlier, I said, I'm not your roommate.
Like, no.
50-50.
Exactly.
No,
I don't even understand 50-50.
You can't do that.
I don't even. That's just goofy shit to me.
Real talk. I'm a traditional type dude, man. My father was, God rest his soul, he was a steel worker. I watched this dude come and go to work every day, beat down and shit like that, and taking care of the family. So in turn, I decided I was gonna be that type of guy where I'm the breadwinner. I'm gonna take care of all the bills. My wife don't even worry about shit like that. Now, as far as education, my wife is more educated than me. She got a master's. She working on some bullshit. She might be a doctor any day now, whatever. She always got her head in the book or some shit like that. But my thing is that it's like it was already mentioned. It's whatever works for that family dynamic. I'm just the type that I wear the big drawers. I feel like I get the big piece of chicken because I'm paying all the goddamn bills. I ain't got no problem with that. I ain't about to ask no woman for half or no shit like that, because that's my tradition. That's how I was raised. The man is the protector. The man is the provider, and that's how I do. Now, what I do might not work for every other family out there, and I'm not going to look down on that.
For everybody else,
but that's just how I operate.
Yeah, I don't understand the 50-50 shit. Like, my mom and my dad was together for 40 years before my dad passed away. I seen what a man is, so I'm just like, and that's the man I wanted to be. You know what I'm saying? I was like, man, his shoes too big, so I was like, I don't know if I ever walk in them, but I was like, I'm walking in that direction. You know what I'm saying? So whatever, I did, whether it was deemed negative or positive, it's just more like.
Hey, Mark, real quick. So Mia's about to sign off, guys.
All right, later, Mia.
Hey, yo, we appreciate it, yo.
Thank you so
we
much.
Appreciate it, yo.
No doubt.
Much love.
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead, Mark.
But it's like, whether it was negative or positive, it was just like, listen, be a man. Like, that's what my dad would say, be a man. He will always tell me that, right? Well, no matter what you're doing, you know what I'm saying? Carry it, like you're supposed to carry it. So that's how it was. And I've said this before. My dad lived my life before I lived it. So he knew, for what was coming for me, whether it was trouble, whether it was some good shit. He knew all of that. So, you know what I'm saying? It was just like, man, but he wanted me to be my own man, but he was just like, don't, you know, like, yo, be a man though. You know what I'm saying? Now, sometimes, you know, like I done fucked it up sometimes, you know what I'm saying? Just with my warped thinking, you know, every now and then, but it's still the same thing applied. So, you know what I'm saying? I'm just like that 50-50 thing. I never understood that. When I was boy, like I'm out with it. I'm out with a chick, right? And the bill come, and the bill might come from the other boy. And the other boy looking at the bill. Well, yo, I got this, and you got that. And I'm like, what type of sucker shit is this? Like, I just viewed it as sucker shit. You know what I mean? Personally, like,
I don't understand that.
I didn't view it like that.
Yeah, me
Well,
personally,
if two guys
me
together,
personally,
they
if we
take
go
their
out to eat
girls.
and
Hold up.
me personally, if we go out to eat and that man pays, I'm tipping. I'm a volunteer to tip. Like, all right, he's like, I can see him taking the bill, and I said, I'm tipping. Now, if he say no,
and that's cool.
I'll respect that. But other than that, I'm tipping automatically. You got the bill, okay? I'm a tip.
If me and Mark go out to dinner, I take my lady out to dinner.
Yeah.
Mark take his lady out to dinner. The bill come up $200. Mark pay $100. I pay $100. Shit done. It's over.
So,
yeah,
I saw. So I told you I'm part of different groups. I'm in a social group called Mix It Up, and somebody posted somebody posted I forgot his name, but he ended up getting a record deal. But before he got that record deal, he talked about during the interview how he owes all the success to his woman.
Okay.
Before he got that record deal, he handles everything now. But before he got the record deal, she fronted everything. She paid for everything. He wasn't in a position to. So she fronted and helped him become successful. And then after he became successful,
she believed in him.
What he was striving for, then he took over all responsibilities and started spoiling her, and she didn't have to worry about anything.
That's what a backbone is. Just because that's
a beautiful.
That's an alpha role.
That's a great partnership.
It's an alpha role.
Do y'all see yourself doing that?
It's an alpha role on both parts.
Do you see your females doing that?
Why not?
That's a lot of rappers.
I mean,
a lot. That happens a lot more than you think, though. That happens a lot more than you think, though.
Hold on, Merv.
I said rapper, but
Merv,
a dream in general, whether it's rapping or trying to get a certain corporate position or any or like KB the chef.
Happens every year during tax
just
time.
in general. Do you see females doing that?
Like Merv, like real talk, like Merv. That same conversation. Hold on, guys, hold on. Merv, that same conversation is the same conversation I just had, and I told you how it happened with me. That's the same conversation. I had to drive. I'm Michael Jordan all day. I'm getting 69 points a night. But until Phil Jackson came into my life and showed me how to win,
facts.
That's when it's different. You know what I'm saying?
That's when KB, hey Mer, and I want to piggyback off of KB. My wife, I consider. I mean, I'm Jordan or Kobe, and she's Phil Jackson. I would not be where I am today without my wife. We complement each other very well. I probably would have been kicked out of the military if it wasn't for my wife. That woman complimented me. She is the key to the success that I've had since we got together, and that's just facts. I mean, and you can't lose sight of that once you get deep into the relationship. Like I said, we 19 years in October. We'll be 19 years in, and we go ride. And we go ride this motherfucker until the wheels fall off. She's an alpha woman. I'm an alpha male, and the shit just happened to work out. Real talk.
See that's what an alpha male and female should be. So that's where a lot of people get into alpha male and alpha woman. That alpha woman can be alpha, right? Strong, have a mouth, everything. But it's behind closed doors, and she's backing her man. So let's, like you said, Merv, she fronted him the money for him to get on. That's alpha. That's how it's supposed to be. The issue is you have the wrong alpha male and alpha female, where that female is out
I was
there
raised by my grandfather too, and my
embarrassing
mom.
that man publicly. I'm gonna give you an example. I'm gonna go back to reality TV. We're gonna talk about Ray J and his wife, right? Ray J and Princess. Princess publicly humiliates Ray J every chance she gets.
Yeah.
Things that are supposed to be behind closed doors, she go on social media and she humiliates this man. Okay, that
made a toxic female.
Those are the false alphas, okay? Man and female, false. Because you're sitting there, you don't respect him. You don't respect your man. Any woman that does anything.
But you know, he keeps dealing with her though.
Yeah, you don't respect them at all. You don't respect that female. That means when a female does that, she has no respect for you as a man.
And Tina, and to your point, like I said, everybody know me and Merv best friends, know each other since we was fucking in single digits and shit. Merv come through. Even if my wife going through some shit, a disagreement, Merv, would you ever know?
Nah, hell no.
And that's how that shit is supposed to be. We a team.
It's supposed to be.
Like
Hey,
Beyonce and Jay, pretty much. You know.
Hey, hold up. Let me say something. Let me
respond to Talia. Yes, I know he did.
Hold on.
Clearly, they don't respect each other. If a man go on social media and do that, if a man publicly just be out in the street humiliating his wife, then vice versa,
that's cornball
shit. Boyfriend, whatever,
that's cornball shit.
And you are not an alpha. You are a false.
He
alpha.
threw her ass in the pool.
Yeah, anybody who do that is a false alpha. That don't make you an alpha nothing, because that stuff shouldn't be done publicly. Period.
Nope.
That's what they
wholly agree with that. That's some fucking shit.
Hold on. If she got tired, then she should leave. You don't sit there and keep staying in a toxic relationship. You need to.
Yeah, but some people love toxic though. That's the thing. Some people love
Ray J seems to like it. And Ray J
some people
like
love that
it
shit.
too.
Virginia Slim.
Go ahead. Hey, go ahead, Merv. Go ahead, Merv.
Hey, I got a question, and this is peeling the layers back, right? What Stack said, it made me think of something. So when I'm at Stack's house, if I'm in his man cave and shit, and she brings him a plate of food, she'll bring me a plate.
Let him know.
Bring me a plate of food too. I don't ask.
Let him know how that shit happens.
No asking nothing, right?
Let him know how that shit work.
Hey, so here's a question, because I done heard this. I done heard this before. I heard females that like, I'll cook the food, but ain't nothing wrong with his goddamn feet or fingers. He can fix his own plate. So y'all thought so next. Everybody thought so like, oh, will you cook and fix a plate and take it to him? Or is that too much? If you cooking, that's it. He can fix his own plate. Kyle,
no,
your wife,
that comes with home
my wife.
training.
Let me tell you.
That has nothing to do with being alpha.
I have not had that happen. I have never had that happen.
One at a time. That comes with home training. Anybody that walks up in this house, I'm going to automatically offer them something to drink. And if I'm going to eat, I'm going to offer everybody that's in that house, do y'all want something to eat too? That's home training.
That's hospitality.
Yeah.
Are you going to fix it?
No, are you saying are you going to fix it?
Are you going to fix it?
Yeah. What's the big deal?
Okay, you just said that.
She just said it. Yes, she just said it.
It's been made a big deal.
You said you go
That's crazy.
to Stack's house or whatever. So if I'm Stack's wife, hell yeah, he has a guest. I'm gonna be the utmost respectful wife ever, because hold on, that goes.
Be a host.
Let me tell you something. That goes as children too. That's why I said it's home training. Let me tell you something. Can I clean? Hell yeah, I can fucking clean. To the point where if I make my bed, I'll lay on top of the covers because I don't want to make that shit back up the next day, right? So, but do I like doing dishes? Hell no, I don't like doing no motherfucking dishes. But when I was growing up, let me tell you something. I could be the worst kid ever in my house. But when I go to somebody else's house, I'm going to show them that that my parents is the best of the best of the best. I'm
Mm.
gonna offer to wash the dishes. I'm gonna offer to do this, that, and the third in the house. I'm gonna offer to help the parents out because I am an example. I represent my parents, and ain't nobody out here talking about my parents, talking about who raised this child. Nah, I'm gonna be the best motherfucker ever at somebody else's house.
Right.
Motherfucker,
I love
you
it.
raised that.
That's
Hey,
gonna be
yo.
a
That's
plate made
Yo,
from heaven.
They
yo,
cover that
and,
Merv. They
and,
cover
with,
that Merv.
hey, and with that being said, bro, hey, it's time to wrap it up, man. Hey, this has been a real good pod, yo. This has been this been a real good pod. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna go around the horn. We're gonna go ahead and start with Tayson. What you got for us? Final thoughts.
Final thoughts. I just think it's about communication, really, in terms of the alpha male and alpha female. Like, it's all about communication and playing a part. And I'm going back with the toxic stuff. It's like, look, you know, leave the toxic people alone. Like, leave that alone, please. Like, for real.
True.
Like, but seriously, because look, I've been in a couple of toxic little things back in the day, but glad I'm not now. But communication is the key, really. Real talk. That's all I got to say.
K Boogie, what you got for us?
Oh, you know, man. My thing is all about you gotta date somebody equally yoked with, and that's just what it is. If a person isn't giving you what you want, then why are you wasting your time? Like, because I can tell you what I want, but if it's not in you to do it, and you just doing it to make me happy, it's not gonna last. You know what I mean? Eventually, you're gonna get tired of doing it, and you're not gonna do it. You know what I'm saying? And then to piggyback off of what Merv saying, give me 2 seconds with this. Merv, I was eating sushi because my wife just brought it in for me. Yeah, like that's just how it is. You feel me? Like I gotta eat. So
true.
That's what it is. You feel me? Like I do my job, she do her job, and it just works.
No doubt. Nick, take us home. What you got? What did you eat?
Listen, man. This is a coconut popsicle.
Ain't nothing wrong with it. What you got for it?
Banging.
She giving that popsicle to
It looks that way.
I see that.
You heard me say I've been single since 2012. Mark, you in Philly? Introduce me to somebody.
Wow. Yo, what you got for us, Nick?
But seriously, like get to know people before you and make sure that y'all both want the same thing.
Right.
And also shout out to my cat that was up here, Tiago.
Yeah, cat was chilling.
No doubt. All right, Becca, come through. What you got for us, cousin?
Like I don't want no smoke.
I don't think that having an alpha personality is a bad thing. You just have to know when to reel it in. I think sometimes the only time an alpha personality can really be damaging is if your level of respect for the other person is not there. It's gonna always show. And the alpha personality, they have good leadership skills, right? You just have to know when to apply those skills and not disrespect the other people in the room.
True that. Team B, come through.
Being equally yoked. When you're equally yoked with somebody, y'all just vibe. Y'all know when to come in. Y'all know when to come out. It's just I can't even explain it. That's the best I can explain it, but you just know. You know what I'm saying? Not to say that there's not going to be any arguments from time to time, but most of the time you just know. You just know when to step in. You know when to step out. You know when to take over without anybody even having to tell you anything. I feel like people have the wrong meaning of alpha. So it's being equally yoked. It's knowing your role, knowing your lane. Everybody got a role. That man got a role. That female got a role. They got a lane. She got a lane. Period. And respect and communication, like everybody said.
True that. Philly Mark, what you got?
Man, I think two alphas can work.
West Philly.
You know what I'm saying? I think two alphas can work. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's just really how you talk to that person. Like, if you barking orders at that person, they're not going to really respond that well to it. And I've been somebody that barked orders to somebody, you know what I'm saying, on numerous occasions. And you know what I'm saying, I can see why, you know what I mean, shoot, we going back and forth, you know, or whatever. But then I think back to my mom and my dad, because I have my mom's personality. My mom's super aggressive. You know what I mean? You know, she punched people in the face, you know what I mean, and shit like that. So, you know what I'm saying? I'm just like, you know, but I see how she worked with my dad though, right? Because my dad was real calm demeanor, you know what I'm saying? And I see them explain things to each other, right? Because it was some shit my mom was better at than my dad and vice versa. You know what I'm saying? So I'm thinking if that's your partner, you know what I mean, for y'all communicate and explain things to each other, you know what I mean, y'all a team, y'all going to the top. You know what I'm saying? When you don't do that, that's when the shit go left, and then you be like, damn, you know what I'm saying? I wonder what happened to boy, why I had to get rid of him. It's probably because the communication sucked. You know what I'm saying? And even though y'all two alphas, y'all might have been good together, y'all ain't know how to communicate, so y'all shit, you know what I mean, just fell apart. You know what I'm saying? And you know, I mean, when you're young, you know what I mean, you can rebound from that. But when you get older, man, you know what I'm saying? You ain't trying to keep going through that bullshit. You know what I'm saying? Like, look, you know what I mean? For real, communicate well, you know what I'm saying? And that's what you got to do. And if you dealing with somebody who don't communicate well, and she on that bullshit or he on that bullshit, yo, get rid of her, get rid of him immediately. Don't wait. Don't do nothing. Just cut him. You know what I mean? Like a thief in the night. Like I'm out. You know what I mean? You don't even know where I am. You know what I'm saying?
It's like a trash. That's like a trash from the Thursday, like DMX said. Yo, Merv, what you got for us? I know you got a lot. What's happening?
Man, nigga, how you figure I got a lot?
Because you always got a lot.
Because you usually do.
Hey, Merv, I don't choose violence, man. I'm just telling you to give your thoughts, bro. I ain't choosing violence tonight.
Yeah.
He do be having some dope closing thoughts, though. Let's go.
Yo, the word alpha, the theory alpha, the perception alpha has become commercialized, has become saturated, has become status quo to the point where it's become almost criminalized. Like it's become a very negative connotation on how people are using it and perceiving it nowadays, where everybody wants to be an alpha because it's almost like if you're not an alpha, then you're a sheep, or you following, or everybody else around you that's perceived alpha is stronger than you. When in a lot of cases, it takes more strength to be a beta, or to follow, or not to battle, or not to argue, or to pass the saddle, or to pass the buck, or let somebody else drive. Dealing with any kind of a relationship, whether it's a relationship, a romantic relationship, professionally, a relationship in networking. But like a lot of people said tonight, more importantly, it is about understanding each other's role, no matter what relationship you're in, and being equally yoked, and asking the right questions. A lot of times, when we're young, we only think about the on the surface shit, how they look, what kind of finances they got, and that's usually what we go by. But being equally yoked, you need to know, what's your upbringing, what kind of family values you got, what's your belief in raising kids? Are you a disciplinarian? Are you a timeout? Do you enjoy spending time with your family? Are you a loner? Do you believe in entrepreneurship? If I want to go in my own business, will you be there to support me, or will you be there back, or will you be there saying no? So it's so many questions that we need to ask more when we meet somebody, or when we decide to get serious with somebody. We need to dive more, peel layers back, and understand each other motivation, what bugs us, what's our pet peeves, what motivates us. And those are things we need to pay attention to. And then we also need to understand that every situation is a situation where there's an opportunity for one of us to be an alpha. If you're the entrepreneur and we follow that, you're the alpha. If you're the person understanding how the household go, as far as like this is how we need to budget when we go grocery shopping. This is how we can make this month last from what we go to Walmart or go to Sam's or go to Food Lion. Guess what? Then you're the alpha.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people don't understand. A lot of people think alpha is just a general term and you're the alpha over everything. Everybody can be an alpha over certain things. But y'all do need to have an understanding that if there is a disagreement, who has the final say? And that's something that y'all need to talk about and have that understanding. So when it's because you can't break a tie between two people. You can't.
Mm-hmm.
So y'all need to have understanding that, okay, when we come to this, I'm gonna follow your lead and I'm gonna grit and bear it and trust you that you're gonna lead me in the right path, whether it's the woman or the man. But both of y'all just need to have that communication, understand each other, negatives, positives, how to motivate, what the pet peeves are, equally yoked, follow one another, and understand when it's time to be an alpha for the situation and when it's time to be the final say-so alpha. And then go from there.
It's real shit right there, man. I'm a piggyback off of Merv and off of Tayson because it's about communication and it's about perspectives, in my opinion. If you have two alphas, which you got my household, I think that each alpha can complement each other by taking care of situations based on their strengths as being an alpha. And that's worked for me these last 19 years in marriage. And you got to give both parties, both alphas got to give at some point. And that makes your relationship flourish. That gives you better understanding. And that makes the communication flow much better. Man, this is a really good. I mean, I came in this bitch thought I was going to be swinging the whole time, but I learned a lot tonight, and it was real good being a viewer for a long time, understanding everybody's perspectives and things of that nature. So big ups to everybody on this panel right now. Y'all, I mean, y'all shining tonight, and I'm gonna give the MVP, my MVP, to the homie Tina B. You know,
hey,
and I'm going to do that simply because of what Tina brings to this team, what she brings to this pod, the stuff that she does behind the scenes, in all aspects of what we are doing. You the homie, and I love you. I like everybody that's on this part of that, but I gotta give props to the MVP because a lot of people don't see a lot of the shit that she does. I call it a night owl because shit, I get an alert at 2:00 in the morning, maybe when I can't sleep, and I'm like, what the fuck is Tina doing up? Tina pushing the pod, and Tina's dedicated, and Tina's an alpha. The alpha for sure. Hey yo, and I love you for that.
Flowers, man. Gotta get their flowers.
Hey, I always give her flowers. I give everybody flowers, but I mean, I have to. Hey, you be on your shit, and I appreciate it. Sean, take us home, brother.
Let me say this, cause I gotta keep it a buck. Y'all get on my motherfucking nerves. Okay?
I know it.
Y'all get on my motherfucking nerves. I'm
I know it.
frustrated, but the love is there, and that cannot be taken away. Okay, and that's what motherfuckers need to understand, and that's a bond. We're gonna argue, we're gonna beef, we're gonna have disagreements, but once that foundation was built, the love is already and always will be there. And before I give it to the general, I just want to give a shout out to Kyle, KB, for picking out this topic. So group members, if you're watching, you can pick out a topic and we might just take it. So shout out to Kyle tonight. This was his topic.
Facts.
And let me pass it to the general.
Hey, good.
I'm sorry.
Go ahead, Nick.
I'm sorry, but listen, I forgot to give a shout out to Trinidad and Tobago because some of my family and friends back there be watching y'all. I be, sending the links on WhatsApp. So
that's what's up. That's what's up right there now. Shit.
So y'all is international.
Hey.
Yo,
Hey,
we
we international now.
Yo, we getting money out in Trinidad and Tobago.
Yeah.
Yeah, yo. Yo.
Where that come from? Where I get that from? We getting money in Trinidad and Tobago.
Everybody eats, B. Everybody eats.
Everybody.
Everybody eats, B. Yo, real talk, good show tonight. Stacks and I went backstage, and we wanted just for you all to rock it out. We wanted the ladies to get into that bag. We wanted the guys to get into that bag. And that was important for us to make sure that everybody got a chance to shine on here. I thought we were going to have more smoke, but you know, it didn't happen. But it's all good. It was still a really, really good conversation. I wanted this shit to get disrespectful. I really wanted it to get disrespectful, but I understand the optics, and it was a great time to show Black excellence, that we didn't have to be ignorant and get crazy to have a legit conversation about a topic that is very sensitive. Because you got people out there who think they're alphas and they're not really alphas, and you got people out there who are not alphas that think that they're that they don't even know what they want to be. They're more beta than anything else. What I've learned tonight, my biggest takeaway from tonight was Merv is part of a lot of social groups, so that means he's searching. He's searching for something. I don't know what he's searching for, but he's definitely searching for something. I hope that he finds whatever he's looking for in these social groups. I don't know what he's looking for in those social groups. We need to find something. I'm really impressed with Mark's transformation. Mark is transforming in front of our eyes. We seen Mark went from throwing back to the streets and whamming in the back of the car to now he's talking about he's looking for an alpha lady himself. I think that Mark is starting to grow into himself. I think Mark is starting to become the man that he always wanted to be, and I'm proud of him. Hopefully we can continue to see that growth. Shout out to Tayson. Tayson had ladies in the comments saying he has some nice high cheekbones, but what Tayson did not tell them.
Run with that, fam. Run with that.
Those cheekbones are actually fake. Tayson got a cheekbone lift a couple of years ago from Dr. Miami. And that shit is not real.
Dr. Miami, wow.
That shit is not,
real quick,
he got a fake.
Shout out to Talia and Rika.
Yeah, can I finish though?
Sure.
Can I finish? Y'all had all y'all time. I sat back and let y'all breathe.
Wow.
I sat back and let y'all breathe. Let me speak. Let me talk my shit. Shout out to Stats. Shout out to Stats. For being. Can I finish? No, shout out to Stats for jumping on at 7:30 tonight to make sure everything was good to go. I appreciate your professional acumen, my friend. So thank you so much for that. One thing I do want to say about the topics tonight. You guys had me thinking a lot as I was listening to the banter. And one of the things I realized for myself that I don't feel myself as an alpha at all. I look at myself, I feel like I evolved a long time ago. I didn't realize it until tonight, because when I was in my 30s, I thought I had to exemplify the traits of an alpha. And after tonight's show, I realized I evolved from that. It was a maturation process for me, where it's not about me being an alpha. It's about me being a respectable man and a man of principle and a father and someone and a provider. An alpha is just a title, and an alpha is just someone who say they want to be in the front, but you can't always lead from the front. Sometimes you got to lead from the back, because you got to make sure that everyone behind you is also in a solid position. And I say that because I have a daughter that is 9 years old, and she made the A honor roll last week for the first time. She always make an AB honor roll, but she never hit that broke through that ceiling to get the A honor roll, and now she's an A honor roll student. And when they were calling out the names over online class about who's getting all these honor rolls, and they got the AB, and they didn't mention her name, and her eyes started welling up because she didn't think that she was getting any award. And then when they say A honor roll, you know, she ran downstairs and came into the office and was like, "Dad, I got it. I got A honor roll." You know what I mean? Like happy and excited because she's so competitive. And it made me feel I had to take a step back and think like, man, everything that I've been teaching her since inception was about don't settle just for anything. You know what I mean? You got to go for it all, or don't go for it at all. And now she's in a position where it's almost an expectation for her to have going forward. It's almost an expectation for her to do better than the average or do better than the norm. And that's how I was raised by my mother. My mother always told me, and she was an alpha female who raised me, on her own. And she always told me, you're not going to settle just for anything. You're going to always shoot for the stars. And I think that lesson passed down allowed me to not just look at myself as being an alpha male, because I'm around a bunch of women. I got, my Wiz, my daughter. I'm the only one in the household as a man. And I can't be an alpha amongst them, because being an alpha amongst them could turn everything off and create some divide across the board, because now the expectation is too high for anyone to meet if I'm trying to get them to meet my expectation as an alpha male. So I feel like the maturation process started a long time ago. Tonight helped me realize that it's not about being an alpha. It's not about being this solid guy that you think you have to be. It's about being the right person for the right time, for the right situation, for the right people. And we all have the right people in our lives right now, except Merv. Merv is still searching for freedom, whatever that looks like. But for the most part, we all have the right people in our lives, whether that's a cousin, uncle, friend, girlfriend, boyfriend, or whatever you like. It's all there in front of you. So just don't worry about being an alpha. Worry about being the right person for that person. So with that said, shout out to Facebook. What the hell is
They
that?
coming to get y'all.
Shout out to Facebook.
Damn, Nick, you got the boys out there?
Nah, I saw them lights back in Nick's house.
I saw that. Yeah, like
ain't no telling what Nick got going on.
Yo, Nick, get down. Shit, get down.
Yo, ain't no telling what Nick got going on over there.
On our podcast, oh my God, we famous.
That should be funny.
And I got jokes.
That'll be funny. That'll be funny.
Not happen.
We gonna make the shade room.
She gonna buy cash at me, my bail money.
And I got you. Because I fucked with you like that. I got you.
Yo, everybody shut the fuck up so I can close out. Shout out to Facebook. Shout out to Facebook. Hey, what old boy said, Merv? Everybody shut the fuck up. Yo, shout out to Facebook. Shout out to YouTube. Shout out to everybody who's watching tonight. Shout out to Rika, to Leah, KB. Everybody was in the comments tonight. Shout out to all of y'all. Everybody was an MVP tonight. Everybody rocked the mic tonight. Everybody did a great job. Shout out to Blackjack TV Channel 199. Shout out to our group for rocking with us, although we had the technical difficulties in the front and in the middle of the podcast. Y'all still rocked with us, and y'all kept with that double digit the entire night. So we appreciate the love. We appreciate all the support. We got more coming. We got so much to do. Thank you all again. God bless. Peace out. Thank you, everybody. And I think we're done, right? We done?
Yeah, we done.
Yeah. Peace.
We out. My body.
We out.
Tina, you are not the MVP. Yep. That's the captain.